dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed, life destroyed. Until I woke awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take? Can I be your superhero? Superhero. Can I be your superhero? Superhero. 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 Fly away. It's the first time of today. Today. To dream, believe. You are the strength, you're all I need. Need. Oh, gonna give it a shot. Only one of me to shield you all from the enemy. You're a superhero. You're a superhero. Can I be your superhero? Superhero. 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 Can I be your superhero?
Hello, motherfucker.
I'm alone, I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know. I'm letting go, I'm breaking these walls down, breaking these walls down. If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you wanna travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I never know? Yeah, if you're gonna leave, I'ma let you go. I'm tired of the pain. Go away. I'm tired of yesterday. Fada, fada. I fell where my demons dwell. My own little nightmare, I call it hell. Oh well, it's time to get back up, climbing and climbing. I'm done with this ride, is what I tell myself, so I could feel something else. Yeah, I guess I had my bad days, but it doesn't mean I lost my style. Darling, where were you when my heart was on the ground? I thought time would prove that you would stick around. I I'm tired of the pain. Go away.
Hello, motherfucker.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the monsoon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding. Me up, play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Me up, drumming round in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it.
There's not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before you come around. I yearn for the days when I see your face here before me. I long for the times you held me in your arms. Whoa. How I wish that you were here to give me everything I want. But I know that life's unfair and we can't always have it all. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. Whoa, whoa, I wish that you were here. 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 I wish that you were here.
Alrighty. Hello, guys. Welcome. This is Mortal Portal podcast number 7. So we're just gonna go ahead and do introductions, and then we'll just get right into it.
Thank you.
Myrmex, do you want to start and go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello there, folks. My name is Myrmex. I am the leader of the Mill Vikings. I've been playing this game since day 1, MO2. Pretty new to MO1, to the whole community, but yeah. That's it.
And Booty, Big Booty.
Howdy there, folks. I am LaShaniqua Jackson, a dirty Tendrum thief, playing since about 2013. Part owner, Gray Fox owns the Thieves Guild. I was just the person who picked up the pieces.
And Anthius.
I'm Anthius. I'm the guild leader of Dreadlords. I'm a mage main.
Nice. Turik.
I'm Turik. I'm one of the officers in Legion. I play only an augment and refuse to play anything else. And he is also a foot fighter / MC.
So if they deleted Ogmirs from the game, what would you play?
I quit the game.
If you were forced to play the game at gunpoint, what race would you play?
I eat the bullet.
All right. Wait, I got a couple questions from those intros alone. Anthius, are you trolling or wait? I thought Killox was the guild leader. I'm confused.
I'm guild leader currently. He is. He hasn't been playing anything really for years.
Oh, okay.
And since Mortal 2 came out, I've been the leader.
And
He kind of popped in, and
when was Dreadlords formed, and were you like there at the beginning or?
Yeah. Dread was formed. Jesus, that's a long time ago. 2014, 2013.
Was it like
Mortal
originally a Mortal Online guild only, or?
Not only, no. So Killox had basically been put on like the no-fly list in Mortal. Like the whole server. Well, I mean, like everyone just hated him, and they blew up. He had Knights of Vengeance at the time, and then he was living in Mornkur, and he got me to play and a couple of other friends to play, and then he created Dreadlords, and we just griefed people in Mornkur. But we played like Ultima Online free servers. We played Darkfall. Man, we've always played a whole bunch of games. But we'd always come back to Mortal, and at the time when he started it, there was only like 5 or 6 of us in Mornkur.
Okay.
And we were literally like half of us were blacklisted from Quad, and yeah.
Okay. And then my last question from the intro is Big Booty or LaShaniqua, I don't know what you prefer, but so what happened with Gray Fox? Is he coming back or?
I think once Thievery comes out, he'll come back, but he has no interest in this game until we get that.
And as far as I remember, between the two of you, you guys had like you cornered the market on like thievery videos. Was there any other like big names that you could think of from MO1 who made like good thieving videos?
Aurelia.
Aurelia?
Hello,
Was he
motherfucker.
also in the Thieves Guild?
Associate. We all talk.
Okay. And is that person coming back?
I've seen him in Discord a few times recently, so I think for sure once we get some thievery, he'll play.
Okay, cool. Are you playing? Are you waiting till Thievery as well, or?
I think once we get a real persistent launch, I'll play for a week and feel it out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, launch is gonna be crazy. Assuming we can log in, launch will be crazy, and I think it will be a lot of fun. I'm assuming though that we're not gonna get to play the game for like a few days, based off of that one stress test that Asmongold was in. Um, I don't think we're gonna be able to log in, and if we do, and we actually get into Haven, as soon as we leave Haven, we're gonna get relogged out, which is gonna be great. Looking forward to the login boss for sure. So yeah, we have that to look forward to. So does anyone have anything they want to start off with? If not, I do. But you guys want to talk about something, or
How does
um,
everyone feel that we should be in persistence right now, but we're not?
we
Don't
should have been
do
in
that way.
persistence in December originally of last year, correct?
Yeah, but this one was. I think we were closer to this one when they changed the plans.
Hold on, someone doing the alert thingies. I'm gonna turn off the alerts, boys. So don't do the alerts. Don't waste your points. I mean, I don't particularly care. I'd still be playing the game. You know, I've been waiting for persistence since December, so I'd be playing it and I'd be having fun and I'd, be grinding. Simple as that.
I honestly think it was a very good decision on their part. And from looking at the current patch, they still have a long journey down that dirt road.
Yeah, but they'll be on that journey for a long time, even after this release. So
I mean, just like talking content wise and balance, things to do, and implementation of full mechanics. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of work ahead to get to that point.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna reach that point by January 25th either.
No, I
personally,
don't.
so.
I personally don't think we're gonna reach that either by that date. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to these next few patches coming out before then.
Yep. What do you think, Myrmex? How would you feel if it was persistence right now?
I think I think the game is pretty much low numbered. Content is pretty much, there's been new content recently, series and everything. It's been great. People are coming back more or less, but content is still being drained. There's no endgame content. There's no goal. Housing and gatekeepers might change that, which I'm really looking forward to. But persistence would be great because people would stick to the game, which they don't right now. But hey, the game is not out yet. Not many people are in the game yet, so might be a wise decision not doing it. But I just
So,
would love it.
what Myrmex said, like, do you guys think that people are putting way too much stock in in-game content as far as housing and keeps and stuff, knowing that we won't have a siege system? Like, how do you guys feel about that specifically? Not having a siege system and assuming that content and housing is going to be providing all this content.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to let people put up walls that I can't take down.
Yeah, I mean, but like realistically, do you guys think that will actually generate PvP? Like,
I do.
I think it's more of a PvE thing. I think it is a thing to attract more of the casual player that wants. It's like Ultima Online, back in the day, people would come into the game to build a house, and I think they're gonna implement a system that makes it not that easy to raid and destroy a house, so people you can actually see a living, thriving world. I think that's what they want to go for.
As long as they get it in a decent amount of time after release, I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. The really good thing about housing is it allows people to farm more efficiently, and people will be out farming. Right now, there's a lot of congestion in the towns. People who lived in Moore and Kerr are simply griefed out of the game, going in and out of Death Valley. Um, you know, when houses are in, they'll be actually out at the spawns, and there will be other places to fight. People will actually be going to the dungeons more, things like that. So I mean, it'll definitely help. It's that people thought the same thing when Sarduka was added to Mortal Online 1.
So a question, maybe one of you will know, or maybe chat will know. I know at the very least, I don't know what we're getting with housing per se, like priest or whatever. I don't know. but I'm assuming that we will at the very least have a chest inside the house. Now, will people, if like I'm running into my house and someone follows me in, maybe they can't get out, will they be able to loot my chest? Or do they need a skill that we won't have in the game yet? Does anyone know that answer?
I
If the
have no
chests are
idea.
open?
But the way things are going, if they kill you, you get apparently a key, right? And some shit like that. If you have the key on you, and they can access your house, and
It,
if they do that, they probably will also have access to chests or everything that is in there.
it
That's
sounds
what
like
I've
they're
heard.
doing the combination of the two systems that they had in Mortal 1. And in the first system, when you build a house, you kind of threw the plot down, and then you got a chest that you basically threw all the resources in, and then when you built the house, the chest kind of became, if I remember correctly, it was a locked box.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so you needed the key to access it. Um,
Even
but
while building,
Or if it
later,
was left unlocked, you could.
y-
That was one
Yeah,
that you
I
had to
think
like
that.
click on.
right.
Yeah, I think you
But
could choose. Yeah.
in the second iteration of houses, they made it a lot easier to get keys. So you could add people to co-owner list and friends list, and anyone on the co-owner list could create a key. So it wasn't like the owner had to be on to create a key and give it to one person, and that one person had to worry about losing the key. Like you could use the key and then delete it real quick. So I'm assuming you're going to be able to have the co-owner list, and you'll be able to, have 10 or 15 people that can create a key just to open the door, get inside, and then they can delete the key so they don't lose it in combat.
So, I'm not a big fan of that, just because you know how hard it is to make a key.
what, in real life? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like
Oh.
it just feels dirty to be able to just run in, delete the key, generate 20 more whenever you want, and then the rekeying of your house is just, hey, let's hold this button down for 10 seconds. Rekeying a house takes a lock takes a good minute, and you have to have somebody who knows how to do it. So I've stolen keys from people, gotten into their house, and as I'm going to their chest, they've rekeyed the lock, and now I can't open anything in the house.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe you have to have a certain level of lockpicking skill to be able to rekey a house, and so you'll need somebody with that around. It'll be,
I don't know about that, because that's like the same thing as like requiring people to have like swift riding just to travel the map. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't think that's a good idea, because like everyone's probably gonna have a house at some point. So then what? Now it's required to have blacksmithing to own a house or whatever.
no, just to rekey,
It's
so don't lose the key.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. Like you're not gonna own a house and not be able to rekey your shit.
Pay somebody to rekey it. Don't lose your key. That's
Um,
what happens in real life when you lose a key.
thing is though, you need somewhat of a safe haven. You know, like this house. I think is gonna be more. It's more. I think it's more for the PvE boys. You know, the role players and shit. Not for PPs, mate. No, you
Oh well,
want to get
welcome,
yourself sorted.
Sullivan.
Yeah.
Came late. What's up, bro? Glad you made it, man. Sorry,
I
keep
mean,
going. Keep going.
there's nothing like killing someone in their own house and taking their loot. I mean, that's some old school stuff right there.
Some Viking raid shit.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
getting somebody on their own property, especially if they're trying to lock you out. Like I don't know if MO1 had I ban thee or however it works from ejecting someone from your house, but it's a good feeling.
I mean, I could see if like it took longer to make a key or to rekey, but I don't know about requiring a skill to do it. I don't know if I agree with that.
All right. How it takes a lot longer without a certain skill. Let's just make it take a while. I don't like the 10-second rekey is all.
Yeah,
Give me enough
I
time
think
to
that
use
seems
a
pretty
stolen
short.
key.
Yeah. I don't agree with that either.
yeah, I have to agree too. That's actually what I was gonna say. Like, have it take longer. I never got into the whole housing and whatnot, but like 10 seconds to rekey a whole house, it's kind of ridiculous.
10 seconds. Yeah, that's a bit. I mean, it destroys the whole point of stealing somebody's key to get inside the house. That whole thing just doesn't exist anymore. Why even introduce keys at that point?
Yeah.
You know, make something different. Make something that is more brings more meaning. You know.
And don't get me started on owner's chests. Those are the dumbest thing that ever came into existence. I have the key to your house. You haven't rekeyed it. I'm standing over your chest, but because I'm not the owner of the house, I can't open it. There's no special key for it. It just, do you have a thumbprint scanner? Biometric safeguards? How does
Wait,
this
so
chest know?
So there was 2 chests?
Yeah, so there's public chests and then there's owner's chest. And even if I have all that and you're like dead AFK, I still can't get any of your loot.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe the owner chest was like only you, the one is the owner who placed it, can access it.
And the thing is, there's no limit on how many. It's how many can you fit in the house? You can have 20. Maybe if it was limited to 1, if you upgraded the house too. But
yeah, one thing that I'm more worried about is the actual thing when you raid a house. What happens to the loot that is inside of it? What happens to the materials? Can you destroy it, reuse it? What's the
raid it as in run inside, or raid as in blow it up?
Raid and blow it up.
When you blow it up, the chests get like everything inside the chest get thrown into like the house chest, if you will. And there's like everything's just piled into one chest that's accessible through like just clicking on the plot that's left burning. And then all of the physical chests are kind of thrown all over the place.
Yeah, all furniture gets shot out right when it dies.
Yeah, I mean that's as Mortal
cooldown though.
So it's one major loot bag, pretty much.
Yeah,
yeah.
12 or 24 hours. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's 24 hours after it blows up. You can't access it. Only the person who placed the house can loot that. So they have a chance to get their shit out.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you are able to raid a house, destroy it completely, like in Rust, and take the shit and take the mats, you know, if you can reuse it, I think it's gonna be attractive to a lot of PvP communities to destroy a house and take the shit like that.
I mean, it's worth blowing up houses just to get like the workbenches and shit. Yeah, the pet cages and all that stuff. There's a whole bunch of things you can get from it.
There's a 10,000 gold painting. If I saw that in somebody's house, I might consider throwing down a 500 gold mang.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is, I think they're not going to do the D drops anymore. Pretty sure he said that at one point, just because it was like they don't want to make raiding profitable, where you just have groups just go around sieging everybody's shit. Because you know, depending on the type of player you are, that people leave the game. Like it took you like a week to build this house, and someone just destroys overnight, and okay, I just lost all my shit. Like
I don't think it's gonna be that easy, as you say, but it's like what Henrik said in the stream. He really wants to try to make a world that is more persistent, so to say. So it's more existing. So you can't just come up there and destroy it. It's part of the world, but you still can destroy it. So if there's a lot of resources to get out of it, you know, I don't think the system will work the way that Henrik intends it.
Kind of hard to imagine, but I don't know. Have you guys ever thought about like what the world is actually going to look like 6 months after launch, like when there's just literally houses littered everywhere? Like it's going to look completely fucking different than it does right now. Like where you're just roaming, it's vibrant nature. You know, sometimes we're like missing like, oh man, I wish there was like I'd seen a mob in the last 10 minutes, but like 6 months after launch, there's just gonna be houses like literally everywhere. Like all.
Well, that's my big question about it, is because how housing worked in other mechanics, like if there was a rock in the fucking way, you couldn't place a fucking house down, you know, like what are you gonna do when that comes to be there, you know, like, oh no, I can't place a house because it's too close to this, too close to that. Like you have to find completely bare land, so that makes basically in the colored forest you're not going to be able to place a house at all if those mechanics still hold true. You're not going to be able to destroy the landscape in order to fucking place a house, you know, like some bullshit.
I'm kind of like concerned about that as well. You can't place it. I still think the way that he showed it in the stream, like you don't actually need the whole flat ground. You can still like kind of clip it in there. But what I'm really concerned about is when you place a house, apparently the ecosystem gets influenced. So if you have like a spawn nearby for like animals or wolves and shit, they won't respawn.
Well, I think he said the spawns get moved, like they get shifted over or something. I mean, that's at least the intended. What will actually happen, who fucking knows?
Right. But if that happens, I think the game's gonna be broke. Because you look at Ultima Online.
Yeah, because like, for instance, there's like an island out on like the beaches of like jungle. There's like 6 shore prowers or something that spawn on this island, and if someone goes and builds a stronghold on it, it would really fucking suck if that like entire spawn of shore prowers just despawns.
Yeah.
And then you'll see a lot more of that everywhere else too. It would really suck.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean the game in its current state is really about, okay, we've made this world for you guys, right? Go nuts. It's beta. Do whatever you want. Now people are complaining there's not enough content. It's such an open world experience that us as the players need to get out there and start creating content, doing things, creating trade, whatever it is. You need to just get out there and start doing it. But a lot of guilds aren't. So that's why they see all these potential failures, and we're talking about what could be wrong with XYZ mechanics that we don't even have access to yet. And we're talking about what happened in MO1, which a lot of players never even played. So
True.
there's a lot of question marks, but like, what are you guys personally doing for the whole experience? And I'll say fuck you, Dread, because what you're doing is you're forcing people off the server. I get that's what you guys do. It just is, but I'm
How are we
calling you
forcing
out.
him off the server?
I mean, griefing people, bro. That's gonna fucking a player that isn't used to mechanics like full loot. They're just not gonna come back.
Griefing
That's-
who though?
I mean, I don't know. Just from your rep. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
Crickets.
I don't think most of the people I fight are guilds bigger than us that play more consistently than us. 75% of my guild is never played Mortal 1. I mean, Schmerik's a meanie. I get that. I'll give you that. He's certainly not the greatest thing, but I mean, that kid gets fucking zerged down every day he plays.
Yeah.
A lot of noobs are getting big wins over him.
Schmerich gets zerged down quite a bit sometimes.
It's hilarious watching him play. He just takes every fight and fights until he loses. But I mean, I mean, we're doing what we did in Mortal 1. We just go to our Graceland and defend it. I mean, noobs shouldn't be going up the GK as far as I'm concerned.
That's fair. I mean, but some people want to explore. But exploring this world is dangerous, so touche.
I mean, bring a group up. There's only like 5 or 6 of us. We get slammed a lot. We get beat a lot. I mean, I don't know. We're just
It's the kind of game that allows a lot of communities to take place in this game. PvP, PvE, roleplay, whatsoever. I think there's a lot of live feudal communities coming in this game that want to build like kingdoms and shit. So I think these guys will be really thriving in the content. But PvP communities, man, be here to fuck them up, fuck the whole shit up.
yeah. When people bring Zergs up there, we typically, we just fight. There's no. I mean, the griefing, like res killing each other. That's just something people are going to have to get used to. That's not something that's
guilds
unique
do
to
that.
Dread. Yeah.
Yeah, all guilds
Right.
do that. So
It's-
I don't.
But
I
if
don't
you
even
want
think-
me to,
I don't even think.
I'll pass the word on to Schmerich to let him know that. He's a
I'll
meanie.
be streaming tonight. Have him come get me.
He's playing fucking New World right now.
Oh my.
What a guy. But
That game is
that's
fucking broken.
really like my main point is, and why I wanted to come is like we all have this world and it's beta. We should just be doing whatever we can to make events, make the game fun, have big fights. Like let's get 20v20. Who cares what guild is with what? Like half
Well,
of
I
them
think-
put a flag up and then the rest of them no flag, and let's do this shit and see how big fight mechanics work. We haven't had a lot of that.
You answered your own question, like wondering like why we aren't doing what we could be doing. It's just simply for the fact that we all know it's going to wipe. If it wasn't going to wipe, we would all be playing this game a lot more. I guarantee it. I've been playing this game since October, so I'm trying, for myself personally, I'm only speaking, I'm just trying not to burn myself out before the real grind starts. And I do play the game. I play it almost every single day. I'm not like playing it like how it would be at launch, of course, but you know, when you log in and you know that pretty much like 90% of the pop is like in a town, and it's split between like 3 towns usually at a time, like, and you see literally nobody, like it's not even worth it in your mind to like try and go out and roam when you know like most of the people are going to be in one of these towns anyway. So it's like, okay, like clearly there's nobody on, and they're probably waiting for like the patch. So I mean that's kind of like the problem is like it's kind of like a snowball effect or like dominoes, like you log in, you think there's nobody, so you log off, and then someone else logs off, and then like then it's just like extremely low pop at that point. So
Yeah, I've even cut down quite a bit from what I used to play. Like, I don't get one as much as I used to because it is gonna wipe, and I have patience to like farm some horn scales, plate scales, and animal materials, but like I couldn't be bothered to like go get Cronite and whatnot, knowing it's gonna wipe.
I mean, but at the same time, like, other than the calculators and everything else, like, how else are players that are new to this? I mean, shit, I remember when I first started playing beta months and months ago, I was just like, I didn't even know what crepite was, dense crepite. I was just like, what is this stuff? Maybe I eat it or something. Like, you're you're not gonna know how the mechanics work unless you take the time to play, and that's gonna be a big learning curve for a lot of people. So those that aren't in the beta need to be testing all these things. I mean, I know Integrity goes fucking nuts with things like alchemy and having 110 health potions. Don't know if anybody else has that yet, but we do our thing, and it's experimenting and learning all these different things has taken a lot of time. If they fucking change it, which they probably will, is going to super suck. But that's part of being into a beta game. But you have to spend the time to learn it all.
you just jump through that wall.
Oh yeah,
What?
it's on top of the Tindrum Bank.
Nah.
Well, in response to that, and I'm not even really disagreeing with you. I'm just offering the other perspective, I guess. But like a lot of people who've been playing for a few months, even, or are in like a big guild who have access to a lot of information because there's so many people that are doing these things or have done these things. Um, I think the problem is that like comparatively to MO1, lots of stuff isn't a secret, like, or it's not kept a secret for long, and then it's just out there and people like are streaming more and making more videos. And I think a lot of the knowledge that gets shared in MO2 is just like there's just much more of it than there ever was in MO1. And like so like it doesn't take long to test this or that, or we have these calculators, but even in game it doesn't take long to like figure these things out or get word of mouth from someone who does. And you go through content really quickly because of it. I mean, like, what, like Minotaur's released at like 4 a.m. Eastern, and by 10 a.m. we already knew what it dropped. You know what I mean? Like, there was really no reason to go to Minotaur's and clear the boss. We already knew what it dropped, other than just getting that experience and the fun of clearing the dungeon. But like, we already knew everything that was in there pretty much. Like, I don't think there's any like super rare drops that like people had to farm it 100 times just to get that one drop or anything yet. We don't have stuff like that in the game currently, at least to that extent or anything. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
it's
I haven't
just
even done minnows.
yeah, you know what I mean, like, but you know what it drops, like what's in the dungeon, like you don't have to
Oh, for
go there to
sure.
find that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like as like if you had taken a few days off when Minotaur Dungeon came back, by the time you came back, like your guild had probably already ran it, you already knew what it dropped and all this stuff. Like the information's already there, so it's not as big of a motivator to go and run it. Now, if there was things like super rare drops that were really worth it to like farm it, then yeah, you would probably end up doing that dungeon more or more likely or whatever. Even after a few days, like maybe that drop still hasn't dropped, but like there's just stuff. There's not content like that in the game where it's like you really have to grind it out, and that's both a good and a bad thing because it's beta, and I don't think anyone would want to have to like sit here and grind all these hours and then just for it to wipe. But also like, that would be nice for launch if we had stuff like that.
Yeah, but for what they have, like what starting at 12, now they're maybe at 30 that are generally all outsourced, probably mainly from India, because let's be fair, like they don't got the money. Um, they've built a fucking fantastic place. Nave is tight. It's
Wait, what are we
beautiful.
talking about? Developers or what?
Yeah, just their team that they have right now.
Oh, okay. Are you
They
talking
don't
about like a
have a
call
lot of
center or
people.
something? I was like, what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I work for a tech company, so I
Oh, okay.
kind of know how these things do. And roadmaps, like, hey, we're gonna have it now. No, that's the fucking next year, bro. Like boats in game.
I can already tell.
I think they've been doing pretty good with the roadmaps. I mean, all the wish list shit that Henrik goes over and the streams, you know, I take that with a grain of salt. But the roadmaps, they've been pretty good with it. The
Yeah,
fact that they've really patched every 2 weeks or at least twice a month for as long as they have is pretty. I think they've done pretty damn good.
yeah. This schedule has been grade A solid. You know,
Yeah,
like
there's bound to be things that kind of fall through the cracks or things that kind of get held up.
yep.
I've been pretty impressed with how well they've been doing.
Yeah, I can only think of like a handful of stuff that have actually like been on the roadmap, but then were taken off just because there was something else that was more important. I don't think that's bad at all because they ended up usually replacing it with something else. So, that's fine. I think they've been dates. I can already tell LaShaniqua is a like a big person on like finding like little cracks and crevices. He's trying to jump on ledges. He's falling through. He's going through walls and shit. Like it's funny watching his little stream.
They changed Tindrum. I had a good thief route, but they spread it out too much now. All I can do is get on top of the bank.
Get on top of the bank.
Yeah, it's really hard to do if you're not like 120 decks or popping an Alvarin buff.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't.
those statues on top of those buildings, they've got no dicks.
Man, I was
Yeah,
checking.
what is up with that? They have balls but
I
not
don't
dicks.
know.
Are they all
Just like-
eunuchs?
Just call it game polish.
I used squat to try and upskirt, and the developers don't have any balls, and neither do the statues.
So I had some stuff I wanted to talk about. So for keeps and strongholds, I don't even remember if I asked this or someone asked this, but he answered that we will be able to put or build strongholds inside keeps. Now, with that in mind, I was like literally thinking about this today when I was in the shower. How funny would it be if the meta becomes, instead of rushing a keep like on launch day, what if you rushed a stronghold and you build it inside the keep wall ruins? And then this way you don't have to rush the keep, you just have to rush a stronghold because no one's going to be able to build a keep around your stronghold. You know what I mean? Like, because you can get up on top of the stronghold, you can shoot down the murder holes, you can kill the builders, you can shoot magic, you'll have a place to re-gear from or even possibly respawn from. Like, do you guys think that that might slip through the cracks and we might be able to build strongholds inside the keep walls of the ruins? Maybe.
I was expecting that to be. I thought that was what everybody was gonna do.
Right? I mean,
You don't know how much like the. So it's hard to tell exactly how their system's gonna work, but if the keep is like if the keep builds at the same times the walls do, or if the walls are separate, like we don't know how that all goes up. So we don't know how much resources is going into it. It's probably just going to be a lot safer to just throw down a stronghold inside the keep walls and just build it up. I thought that's what everybody was going to do.
But can you actually place down a stronghold inside a keep that you don't own?
No,
We don't
that's
know.
Well,
what
I don't.
we have to wait
Yeah, I
and
mean, I
find
guess
out.
that's all going to come down to how they have it implemented.
But that's
I mean,
also
nobody
brings
owns
up
the
another
territory yet.
that brings up into also another interesting point. Like, let's say the keep and the stronghold is built at the same time. If you're launching siege equipment in there, are you trying to kill their housing that has the stuff in it, or just the keep walls? Because wouldn't it be more efficient to kill their housing and keep them repairing that to resource drain them? Like, that's just a mechanic we're not going to know about. But personally, like, I'd fuck up their house. Why attack the keep wall if you could kill all the stuff in their house?
Well, if you could kill the keep or the house, I think most people would just go for the keep. 5,000 gold alone just for the keep, or it was at least. Stays the same.
What are
It
we
just
in gold
depends on how
for?
low it is. Just depends on how low it is, and if you think you could actually do it. Really.
Yeah, and how much resources it's going to take to build it, repair it, and all that stuff. Because I mean, a lot more goes into the system than people realize from Mortal 1. And I mean, that's just not having enough of the details. It's kind of hard to tell
Yeah,
how that's going to go.
a lot of it's just like speculation at this point.
True that.
Well, I guess we'll find out end of this month coming up, you know? Not this current month, but next month.
Yeah.
Right.
in
The
a month
question
we'll
is,
know.
are they going to wipe beforehand? So we have to do it all from scratch, or are they going to let us actually just build
No.
the houses and
No,
then
they're not
wipe?
gonna
They would know it. Yeah.
wipe.
That would be so troll if they just kind of, oh yeah,
Right?
with this
Just-
patch we wiped, start over, reset
would-
button,
That would
one
be
time
such.
or 1x experience gain. Have fun.
Yeah, you would have literally 2 months to build a keep just to test it. Then you would have to grind for the keep in real time with like reduced XP and everything. It would be so bad.
I'd be down for that. I feel like we'd need some sort
No.
of heads up.
Agree. 100% agree. Henrik, if you're watching, agree. Fuck, that guy, he went nuts over that facial recognition thing. Like, it's like, why is there no content? And seeing him just go fucking ape shit over it, you're like, oh, this is
Yeah,
why there isn't a
That
lot of
trade pissed me
content.
off, dude. That trade pissed me off. I stopped watching. I was like, "Fuck, are we cares about this stuff?" Like we're adding like chest hair and shit. We're like, core mechanics. I'm just like I get like different developers work on different things, but I don't know. It just pissed me off. I don't care about this at all.
I tuned into that stream, and when I immediately seen what he was showing, I immediately tuned out. Like, I was not watching that. I don't know. There's so many things. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna rant about it.
Hey man, you know, Baba life is real. These people need to be paid. Get a real profession. So if they want to, into the system, we can cut hairs or fucking roleplay shit. But there's a lot of stuff that goes for what Henrik's head. There's a lot of shit. He's been talking about dragons for 2 years now. Dragons here, dragons that.
He's been
You know,
talking.
Yeah,
He's been talking about dragons for longer than 2 years. He's been on about them dragons since one.
Yeah, it's been all the shit over. Like, what else coming? Poker and roleplay, sitting down in the chair, like that shit. Why not?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy those things too. But I think there's so much more to like look at. Like for comparison, let's say, like by they're gonna have a bunch of animations and stuff with checkers and whatnot. But like, how about some proper animations for mounted? Like a little leaning off your horse and like a MO1. Why? You're like straight back stagnant swinging your blade. You should be leaning into your swing on the side,
Agreed.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird animations coming to combat. Well, when people kind of mastered spinning and all of that.
And I'm also like curious, what is everyone's thoughts on like the content that was delivered with the last patch?
Talking about sewers and minnows, or
Yeah, sewers and minnows primarily. What did you guys think about those?
I haven't even been to the sewers, honestly. I haven't been to Minotaur. I did see Minotaur streams, our guild did it, but kind of like Putin said, it doesn't have anything that my personal character needs or my guild needs. So, what's in the sewers? Some PvP? Okay, yeah, great. I'm a mounted archer and just dropped a bunch of other ground skills. There's no reason for me to go to the sewer. That's just like, here's some free equipment. Why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah.
as far as I know, like the only unique resource in minnows currently, I mean, obviously there's stuff planned, is the compact horn or whatever from the minnows themselves, like the carcass. Other than that, it's just a gold farm.
Pretty
Gold's
much, yeah.
not extremely valuable right now. It'll be good at launch to have that dungeon for like guilds around to farm gold, sure. Sewers is good. Could be a lot better. I think people were expecting tribe rats there to come. I think he said the boss room's getting opened up in the patch that we're getting on Monday. The sewers will give a little expansion on the next patch. Obviously the Lictor has ruined a lot of the PvP. Everyone knows it who's been down there. Like the Lictor comes in, fucking dunks on somebody or whatever, or your horse even if you bring a horse. But um, yeah, the sewers could be better if because there's no red priest anywhere around Tindrum. You have to go to pig farm too, which is also a problem. So they kind of have to decide whether they want to make the sewers like a PvP zone, like an entry for like new players, or if they want to keep it a noob dungeon and put like a red priest somewhere else. I don't know, but they need like a red priest a lot closer to Tindrum for sure. So hopefully they fix that. But I think
It's the
I
thing,
think I like the
so
sewers a lot though for PvP minus the lictor shit.
yeah, agreed. It's things that I like as well. Like if you look at the Crewrite villages, all of them had a rep priest. I think it's really attractive to the PvP communities to go down there just because of that. And I am right now. I'm struggling, dude, getting into Tundrum and respawn. I need a guy who has actual resources to respawn me back.
Yeah.
As it doesn't work, man. It's just fucking pain. 30 minutes walks just to get in, get into the sewers because of PvP content. That's fucking shit. But hey, I think there's gonna be much more content in the sewers, much more NPCs, and I think they did a good work on the NPC AI so far. And I think the Mino was great. Mino was interesting. I went in there with Draco Sullivan, cleared up the whole thing. There was a lot of Minos. Carcasses, completely useless. But until you get to the boss, I mean, that's cool. Once you pass through the guard, there's a gate coming down. Bam. Get close. You're trapped. Fuck.
Also, minnows would be more useful if we had domination. Don't have those.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, well, they need to put veterinarian in like 100% now. I don't know how they haven't figured out that fucking shit, but having to spend 400 or so primary points just to heal my horse is some bullshit.
Well, I hope that when they add it, that you have to dismount to heal your horse too. I hope it's not just like ride and heal.
I mean, I'm cool with dismounting and doing that.
Yeah, I know. I just thought for balance, like in for fights and stuff, so you don't have like mounted combat mounted MAs just constantly 100% in the fight all the time because they just pull out for like 5 seconds, like heal their horse a bunch and then right back in. Like it needs to take like a moment, 30 seconds, whatever it is. I don't know how they're gonna work.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much how it works with healing it via majory right now. I mean, you could get off your horse and sack that other couple seconds, but if you're just lesser healing, you can pop.
Okay.
Depending on the armor you have, come right back in.
If you're but dude, fat mages are not that strong. I don't care. Like if you're dropping these primaries as an MAMC to get veterinary, you should have to dismount. But mages, if you have to dismount, they're gonna be so fucking useless already. Like you're popping, but if you have an MA on you, like first of all, like you have 50% interrupt chance, and secondly, you're running in a straight line, so he's probably killing your horse faster than you. Because you have double cast times and you cannot turn left or right. You can't stop your horse like you could in MO1. But
yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to defend fat mages right now because they're so tanky in some areas, and then yeah, you take away some of those defensive features, and they get really useless really fast. Because in Mortal 1, fat mages, everybody was like, fat mages are OP, fat mages are OP. Then they played one and they're like, oh yeah, they're not OP. They're pretty dog shit. 1v1 at best, you go even, right? A fat mage shouldn't kill a fat mage. A fat mage should have the upper hand at an MC, but an MC could always just fuck off whenever he wants, keep dismounting you. And an MA completely blows you out of the water. And then you add a shield on your back right now, and you're tanky, yeah. You're in decent shape. You can heal your mount. I think that being able to heal your mount is really the thing that kind of saves fat mages right now. And I'd hate to see that go. But when you look at the Augmirs, and this is one of the topics I wanted to talk about, the Augmir fat mages are just a little too strong, especially when you dismount them. I guess in Mortal 1, when you would dismount somebody, you
They
would
fall on the ground.
yeah, like there's a
character.
dismounting is a really really big feature. It's essentially what's going to get the mounteds killed. It's going to either get you killed, obviously you're getting put on the ground, people are going to swarm you, or your mount's going to die because you're just taking free damage. And that's kind of what kind of controls the pace of a mounted fight, right? The dismounts.
So if
And
we
the fat
give,
mages right now are just so tanky. Like it's not even worth it when they go on foot and they pop that passive where they stand still. They take like no damage, and they pop their little pipe, and they just drink endless potions. They can survive like so many people hitting them. It's kind of ridiculous.
Well, they
But
well,
I don't. I think the Augmers are just so tanky right now. I think it's something they probably want to look at when it comes to being a fat mage to reduce some of the tankiness. And I don't know how they could do that. I really don't want them to take away the shields because I don't like the shields as much on Dex mages, but on fat mages, I think it's pretty nice. Again, like you take any one thing away from a fat mage, and they're kind of dog shit. You hit really hard, and the damage might be a little high right now.
The damage is high, but the DPS is low.
Right,
That's the thing.
which
Right.
is right, and they stay in the fight very long because they are a little too tanky. You can't really one MA should be able to. I mean, one MA should be able to take an MA out of or should take a fat mage out of the fight indefinitely. You just keep peppering them with arrows, and they have to heal themselves, and they have to ride straight, or they're going to be using potions, and it's just going to be really expensive.
we primarily just talking mallet, or are we talking
Mounted,
to-
typically mounted, but like, I mean, the foot fat mage needs to be completely annihilated.
Yeah,
That shit is so dumb. They need like the ability to swim as fast as everybody else is so stupid.
Dude,
Like-
dolphin style, dude.
Yeah,
yeah.
like I feel like
disagree.
it's like a big hater because I know a lot of people like that, but
right back.
it's so dumb.
No,
It's so dumb.
I do agree. Like, I don't know, like how they're gonna implement like swimming changes or whatnot, but like your weight when swimming definitely should like be a matter of the fact. Like, you know, a guy that's obese shouldn't be as good at swimming as like a dex mage.
You shouldn't be able to go under the water.
But like,
Buoyancy, you should keep pushing to the top so people can hit you with arrows.
yeah, but fat mages like on the ground though, like anytime we've seen them, they're just so slow. Like
They just flop, dude.
Thersar gets on them, even though they pop that clade. They're good for 15, 20 seconds, I believe. And then after that clade, they're just done for because they don't got the speed get in their back line as easily, or just to stay with their group. Like,
Well, in the wide open, yeah. Like I don't think they're a problem in the open. My problem is them surviving dismounts way too easily, and being able they're able to wear insanely heavy armor, and they shouldn't be. And I think that was one of the things I was saying. Like you can get away with having 20 armor training, and I have 20 armor training, and I think I can have like almost 12 armor weight on my fat mage.
Yeah,
And
you're not
because you
doing
can
that on
change
an
your armor
Owlbear,
while you're on your mount, like I'll wear a heavy chest. As soon as I start getting low mana, I pop on a light chest and kind of sit on the outside of the fight, and then I just pop on my heavy chest and go right back in. My mana stays full,
yeah,
and I like that should. And I only have to invest 20 armor training, 20 points in armor training. The two clades that give you 3 kilograms. I said this the other week. I just want to throw it out there again, just to
but I
see what
don't
everybody thinks.
like it's someone said it in chat. I don't think this is a problem with mages. I think this is just Ogmirs. Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking
Oh,
about?
yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm
Okay,
trying to
okay.
differentiate the two. Like fat mages are just too strong on Augmirs. Augmirs are just super tanky, and I don't want them to nerf Augmirs to the point where the foot fighters are affected. So my solution to it was scale some of the defenses off of your armor training. Like the defenses you get from the inherent slashing and pierce resist shouldn't be as much if you don't have any armor training or low armor training. And the 3 kilogram armor training clades should scale off your armor training. So if you don't have
I
armor
think-
training, you get like 0.5 per clade or
Well,
something
I think
like that.
what you would end up is you'd probably just end up buffing Ogmirs at that point, because then you would have probably like defensive stance and armor training and the heavy armor. You'd probably end up just buffing fat mages if you did it that way, honestly.
How
Because fat
do you-
mages, they don't have like a huge point sink like that I can tell, because I have like hurting and shit on my fat mage. But I'm
Right,
also
that's-
human, so I don't know if that's affecting it.
Well, you get 60 free points from 2 clades. From the 3 kilogram the 3 kilogram armor training is 30 points each. So that's 60 you get to put somewhere else.
Right, but I'm saying like I could easily fit armor training into. I don't think that would be
And
the
that's
solution.
fine. I don't want to completely nerf fat mages, but I think you throw that in there and they're a little bit tankier. That's fine, but then you can't be a fat mage, necromancer, spiritist with parry or with blocking still.
Oh, okay.
Well,
fair.
that's
That's
one
really-
thing I want to bring up about the shields. Like, you don't actually need the blocking mechanic or any of those for you to get equipment hits. Like, if you point it in the right direction, even if they're swinging in the opposite direction, you're blocking. You put that shield punch out, you'll still get an equipment hit as a block. Like, you'll take damage. Yeah, I mean, less if you have the foot fighting skills, but I don't
If-
think a lot of people have experimented with that, or just
Well, if you
that in
have
general.
blocking, it scales it raises the amount of damage you absorb with your equipment hits.
Right.
So the
but
more
what
blocking
I'm
you
saying
have,
is,
the better it is for.
sorry, no matter what direction they're swinging at, if you like shield punch it in the right direction of their weapon swing, kind of, I'm not describing that very well, but you'll always get the equipment hit, is what I'm saying. Like,
Like
even
if you're actively blocking. I mean.
yeah, like if you're actively doing the shield punch.
Well,
I
fat
don't know if you
mages
guys have
spam out
tried it,
very quickly when they use their shields, typically.
have a lighter shield.
Yeah, but then you take more damage from equipment hits. But I mean, it's a trade-up. Yeah,
Trade-off.
but I'm just saying, yeah.
It's just more of those little things in the game that I want to point out that like we can be out there looking into and fucking around with the mechanics, but how many people are? I know I am.
Honestly, though, like even though going smallest shield is an option, even going like the smallest shield you can do, and even with light materials, it still does eat at your stam quite heavily.
Yeah, why is that? Is there like a skill that I'm missing that drains my stam so quick when you use a shield? Is it mage?
Blocking endurance?
No, it's just the
Well, yeah,
shield,
probably.
really. And
Well,
it does scale the heavier you do, but like just generally, like even the light shields, they'll eat at your stam quite heavily.
Which is, on purpose on their part, but you can't block forever, but it adds that balance to it. Like, when are you going to block? When are you going to do that shield punch? Because that shield punch with no foot fighting skills does take quite a bit of stamina. So you're not going to do it forever, but will it buy you enough time to get out of the fucking shit? Maybe.
Honestly, if they wanted to do something like that would not really affect Augmiz, but would like affect like the small fat mages, people that have no strength, why not have a strength requirement on shields? And
Fair.
you're penalized if you're carrying around a shield, you don't have the strength to carry
Or
it.
add the shield weight to the armor weight.
Yeah, that
damage,
would
something
be a
like
good
that.
balance. I agree with that.
I think either one of those could be a solution. Honestly, both good suggestions at the end of the day.
well, that
I know,
affects more than just mages, though. I mean,
yeah, that would
you would never use a shield and like versus like two-handers. You would have to completely rebalance all the weapons after that.
yeah, if you were to add shields to armor weight, it definitely would. I don't know. We
It would
also
fuck
have
up
to
like
work-
every shield build in the game. If there is any currently, because they're all not comparable already, they would make it even worse.
Yeah, most the one-handed options, even right now, besides like spear and shield, but even spear and shield really is not used that much as it is, and I'm really looking forward to that rework Henrik was talking about.
He was talking about a rework on the shields.
He
Missed
was
that in the
talking about rework in general for one-handers and shields. He was
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about buff, but I don't know what he could honestly do to do that besides lower the stam drain even more on one-handers because it's still very ridiculous.
If anything, I think it would be changing the combat distance that you can engage at, because like certain one-handers, like let's use something nobody uses, one-handed mace or hammer. If they increase the range on that a little bit, you could be able to balance out. But right now, like you got to be like right up in somebody's shit to hit them with a fucking one-handed hammer.
Well, even that, if you like, you have to get real up close to him with a hammer. But if you too close, you end up getting a handle hit. So
That's what I'm saying. Like they need
yeah,
to balance that.
it's like the perfect like mid, like it's almost like a centimeter or something crazy like that. Like you can't be off, or you get a handle hit or you miss,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
not good.
That's some bullshit.
I think someone told me yesterday. I think it might have been a guy from Levy. I'm not sure. Um, that one-handed weapons cost like as much or more than two-handers.
Yep.
Has anyone tested that?
No,
Yeah,
no.
why is that?
We have no idea. Honestly, I would like to know as well.
That makes like no sense. Like you're literally using one hand. The other one probably has a shield, if nothing. And yeah, there's no way it should cost even as much, especially if it's more two-hander. I think that's a big reason why people like better players don't use weapons. Other players probably just follow the meta of what in general, but I would like to see like one-handers like cost less stam because they're in general they're already kind of faster than the other weapons. I think they lowered that gap a while ago though when they made the heavier weapons swing faster, but
Yeah.
At least if they cost less stam, you might see builds at least.
One of the things I've talked about, like with some of my guildies about, like you take the stam drain multiplier off of one-handers when you're sprinting. So I don't know. You said you didn't play MO1, right, Putin?
I played M1.
Oh, you did? Okay. Did you foot fight?
Yeah, I played Spear Shield.
Okay. So, like, one of the things in MO1 is you could be running and sprinting and, like, charge your weapon, and it would only take the required amount of stam for you, charge your weapon and swing it, pretty much.
Yeah, there was no
And
drain or
yeah,
whatever.
in MO2, there's, like, some kind of strange multiplier when you're sprinting, and it really any weapon really, even if you're using a light spear, it just consumes stamina like nuts. And that's one of the things I brought up you could do for one hand is remove that multiplier for them.
Right. Or maybe just even reduce it.
Even reduce it, but
Yeah.
I think the multiplier is quite crazy to begin with. Like, I don't know. I really noticed it since they did something with the damage for certain weapons of recently too. And I'm not a big fan of it. Like, I like using the heavier weapons, and I'm like hitting kids with flang maces, star maces, even sludges, and I'm smacking kids in bone tissue or malarium, and I'm barely hitting them for 50 or even 40 at that, and it's like I'm consuming all this stam, trying to get to my target, and I can't even afford a sticky back him because of that, and the payout for even getting a hit is just very not good.
Yeah.
Bro, I straight up gave up on foot fighting because like I could not make an Alvarin build that would do enough damage to, let's say, a Thursar. I was just like, this is just fucking unfair. I'm over it, and I stopped fucking fighting on the ground altogether. Mainly because I drink all the time, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I dueled Vic in GK some weeks ago on my Vila foot fighter, and he was, I guess, a Thursar, I'm assuming. And it was so bad. I hit him like 10 times. I think he hit me like 3 times, and he won, and I had him at half. It was
Yep.
just like, okay. It was so bad. Like, I think I'm pretty convinced that Velos are either for ratting and running away and playing scummy and like jumping on top of people from like roofs or something, or for
Yeah.
diving mages. Like that's it. Like, I don't
Mage
know.
or thief, like that's literally it. Even MA, like it fucking sucks, dude. Like I can use bows that are 111.5, and I'm not going to do as much damage as somebody using that same exact bow if they have that strength because of the fucking multiplier, which they say doesn't apply to range, but that's some fucking bullshit because I do not do enough damage. Where I don't do the same damage in comparison.
So can anyone who may know more about it than I do go over like task and what we're expecting with those? I think I heard someone say that tasks were going to be providing rep as like a possible reward or something. Reputation. Anyone
Thieves need
know?
something like that. I'm not going to go out and be able to kill much.
I know Henrik has talked about in the past, like apparently it's not supposed to be just kill quest, but like apparently it's supposed to be like material gathering, cooking, made food, and those types of things, and you get a certain amount of resources and you turn that into the guy that wants them and he'll give you, I guess, rep as a reward. And I think Anthius actually had something to say about the rep system too. He mentioned it there.
Just to, I was just going to ask what everybody's thoughts were. I realizing, or at least taking into consideration that it's not fully implemented, but is anybody else just maybe not digging it? Because it doesn't affect me at all. I farmed risers once during the first stress test. I have like 90 reputation. I've been killing people for what, I don't know, 6-7 months, and still have 90 rep with Tindrum.
Yeah, the rep system's completely fucking broken. Like in my opinion, it's.
I mean, I realize that
Garbage.
it's not fully implemented, but I mean, I'm expecting like another big chunk at some point. I guess the task would be the next step, but that's just going to help people gain it. And I guess I'm living in the Northeast. It doesn't affect me. That's why I was asking, because
Well,
I feel like the rep system's just so easy to bypass.
thief point of view, it really sucks. If I'm going to lose one rep for a failed theft, I fail 50 times a day.
Yeah, so you're not going to be living in that city after X amount of attempts, which is just some bullshit. I guess it's them trying to balance it, but I don't agree with that. Like thieves go great, they don't murder people. Like you shouldn't lose rep for dying in town. Like
I'd
I mean,
rather have give me a 10-minute timer. I could spend one rep to res right now or something. I don't care.
Well, I
right?
think once they have like like turning in the heads also gets you rep alongside killing Rysars, and then we have like multiple avenues to get rep. I think that they should definitely scale up the reputation loss, as in like once you have like all these different ways to get rep, and it's pretty easy to get rep. You just have to take time to do it. Then like maybe like a murder could be worth like 3 rep loss instead of 1, and then like crim actions can be worth like 1 rep loss. So then there's kind of like a difference. Like, okay, murdering is a lot worse than me just trying to steal this guy's gold or whatever. Um, I think that would help fix the system more, but obviously they couldn't do it now because 3 rep loss for 1 kill would be fucking detrimental to the game's PvP. Of course, how rep grinding works currently.
I think somebody mentioned it last stream that if we just scale up the rep, we can make things cost,
Yeah,
varying
they did.
amounts to be useful. That's the only easy option.
Yeah, and hopefully like the task system is like made one that increments that is gonna be like, you know, a solution to that, because like I don't know how they could adjust it, but may, depending on the task, you get a certain amount of reps. So may, doing food only gives you like 2, but like, turning in the heads of 20 Ryza commanders or something, it gives you like +5 or +6. I don't know. And then, like Putin said, and you guys suggested, like, you have for the different crimes, you have like more rep loss.
Yes, different severities depending on the kid.
So like, murdering a person in front of guards could be more severe. Killing a horse in a town could be severe,
Man, we should just not fucking kill horses, please. Like, the game is so fucking long, it takes forever to get around. Like, killing a horse is just lame.
Well, that's why that was the big
Boo.
move behind the gray flag rip loss anyway. So it already became worth it for
Boo.
people to not farm horses. But yeah.
I'm just gonna say boo 1,000 times because I hate killing horses. I hate my horses being killed. Let's put it that way. Boo.
Hey, you get a title of killing horses. They want you
I
to
know.
kill
It's called fuck that guy.
I think these miscreants made in the Masters of course slaying is a real deal.
Sounds like them.
They're trained professionals at killing horses and stuff.
Yeah. Let me kill a target that stands completely fucking still. Great success, guys. Wonderful job. Keep it up. Sorry, I'm working too, so.
Tarek, did you want to talk about your Ognir like builds and stuff like the stuff
Oh
you're
yeah,
trying to do?
I would like, yeah, sure. So it's come to my attention, and I've actually known this for like several months now, but like, it wasn't as bad, but now that Thesa is on the chart of able to filling out all their attributes and have them max height, I should bring it up. If you go half Huga, half Blaine, you are not able to fill out your height and your attributes for foot fighting. And as a Blaine, you definitely cannot do that. And they're the only races that cannot do that of currently have max height and have their 3 primary attributes for foot fighting. And generally too, like as we're on the Blaine and Ogmere thing too, I don't actually like the change they did a while ago, giving Blaine on par strength with Hugo.
So wait, which one is supposed to be like the magic, or like what's the difference between the two?
So Hugo, it was originally like the super strong and also super intelligent of the races of the two, and the Blaine was they had less strength, but they had more con, but it didn't work out like that way to begin with. They also had really pitiful attribute points. They couldn't even max out their con at the time. But now they've changed it, and now the Hugo, even though they still have that awesome strength, they just don't have the amount of con a Blaine does. So now the Blaine is the preferred warrior race, while the Hugo is like the preferred mage race of the Ogmere. Of the Clades,
Right. So like, what would you recommend as a solution for the Blaine? I think you're referring to.
So first of all, like what I was talking about first, I think the Blaine should be able to get their max height requirement and have their 3 primary attribute points for foot fighting all maxed out, which they currently cannot do. And also, I would like a revert on the strength change, and instead of strength on par with Hyuga, I would like them to have more con and dex.
Interesting point of view. Why?
Why per se?
Mhm.
It'd be like a variety in race selection. So if you want to be like a faster foot fighter with more HP and just a general tank and on foot, you would preferably want the Blaine, and just with a higher stamina too. While on the other hand, if you wanted like that a mid-maxed MC build, MA build, you would want the Hyuga. And let's say even they do some strange things with the weapons in the future. The Hyuga would also be very viable for foot fighting because they're awesome strength, they would have the higher damage bonus. They have a very good mid size, which makes them a midget on the battlefield, harder target. And plus, with a 123 or 121, they can only use they can use some weapons other races physically cannot.
All right. All good points. I
So
like that.
it would be enough of a variation and also enough of different reasons. Be like, hey, I want to play a Blaine for this, or I want to play a Hyuga for this.
Well, Assassin's saying we still don't have jewelry, and that will add attribute points to villain attributes overfill if they go that route.
But that's jewelry. I'm talking about like in line with the other races of currently. As for the attribute point with the max height, like you shouldn't have to rely on jewelry to be able a max height your Blaine. Like every other race currently can max height with a race alone, and have their 3 primary attributes to foot fight. And Blaine is the only clade currently that cannot do that.
What do you guys think, Anthius, Myrmex, and this was so quiet? You guys feel? How do you guys feel about that?
I'm
I
not
was
sure.
quite busy. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Myrm.
Actually, forgot what you guys said. What was the topic again?
He was talking about the Blaine's not being able to get max size, and I didn't
Oh,
realize that that's how it worked. That you have to have your stats. So you would need to have, how much stats are they missing?
As currently they cannot. It would be by 3 points, I do believe, 3 or 5 points. That's how much they're actually missing to be able to do that.
I mean, I guess I don't I don't see what the harm would be. I mean, if you give them 3 more stats,
Yeah, it's not gonna break the
it's
game. I
not
don't
like
care.
it's just maxing out their con, which is like, I don't know, 3 billion.
I think this Ogmir and Horgar, they're actually quite strong as a melee guy because they can just, take back half or 75% of the health back, which is quite strong. Like, if you're a good PvP mate and you know what you're doing, and in a situation you lose a lot of health, you come back up. It's a very strong build. But yeah, besides these points, if you want to make it stronger, right, could make it.
Saying you're OP.
Yeah, pretty much.
I-
I'm pretty much saying it's OP. I don't think this should be more improved. It's quite sad that they lost the ratio passive for smithing, but there's just a bit of it percentage-wise.
So they're missing out on like 1 size? I didn't realize that. That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah.
They just can't get to their max size because they don't have the stats to do it. I didn't know that. Yeah, I feel like that's like an oversight, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna die on that hill, like wanting to get them buffed more. They're pretty damn strong.
I have to agree, they are pretty damn strong.
How much hit points do you have?
At Stout, it would be 212. It would be pretty much on par with a Khalid and a Thirsa, I do believe.
Like they have that much health.
Don't Thirsa Khalids have like 212 or 215?
Counter have about 212 something. Yeah. At first I can go higher, all the way to 218. So you're gonna have about 5% more damage bonus if you go that way. But you know, it's still quite strong though, because bows in this game are quite strong. And if you're having strength 120, you know, you can have a really strong bow and nuke these people down, especially mages.
That's the thing that pisses me off more than anything is, you know, a build like that can use a better bow than an Alvarin with all these clades, with mass strength, stout, and that person will still do more damage than the person that is spending 3 clades and XYZ to use that same bow. You know, that doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah.
And it also pisses me off because I like make the same bow for my guild mates that I'm using, and they do more damage with it. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, even if I fucking weak spot it, like, ugh. Ugh.
Well, if you're
Ugh.
making, well, what do you mean by the same bow? Like the same bow you're using, or?
Let's say someone has the same exact strength that I do as an Alvarin, and they're
Alright.
human, whatever else. If we have the same exact bow, same exact arrows, they will do more damage than me every single time, unless it's a weak spot. But every single time, they will do more damage.
Are we talking about the same strength requirement bow with the same range?
Yes, I've tested. It super sucks.
So they're doing more damage because of the. I've never heard of that. I'm pretty like from what we've tested and what we've seen, like the same strength bow should do the same stuff in everyone's hands.
It should, but I think what's broken is the melee strength bonus is still being applied to bows where it shouldn't. Just like it shouldn't apply with magic, and it doesn't. But I think that's what's broken, and we're just missing it because I've tested it side by side, and it's just like that's some bullshit. Like
What strength bow do you use? Just curious.
110.78, I think.
On an Alvarin?
Mm-hmm. 92 strength stout. So with the 2 clades, I can use up to 112. Well, I'm technically, but I go a little under just because it's such a pain in the ass to manage the stamina use.
Yeah, I'll have to test that. I thought the only problem that Clade was having was the stamina regen wasn't working correctly. If you're or the stam, what is it? If you were 3 under your max allowable strength requirement, or 3 or 4, whatever that is, you get the the better stamina reduction.
It should be 3 under. That's news.
I thought it was like 3 or 5 or something like that.
Then what's the point of having the claves give you 20? That's my question. It's
Well, it
like,
still adds. I mean, if you had, I always did just like 5 strength under. So if you had 92 strength, I would use a 9 or 87 strength bow, and then if you get the plus 10, the 2 plus 10 clades, you would go up to 97, 107. So 107 strength bow.
you can see that.
But I don't know. I wouldn't expect there to be a damage difference. I thought the damage was the same. I'll have to test that again. I haven't
Please do, and
tested
let me
that in a
know the
long time.
results.
So
Because I think we should be testing all things like this. Because let's face it, the devs don't know about these things. They're not out there testing them. They just made it and said go nuts. And
I feel like those clades are just going to be like always just something's broken about them. I just have a feeling about them.
I'm curious. Have they mentioned like free placeable walls, like for keep owners at all? Like any customization in walls whatsoever?
Inside the keep, not outside the keep.
I haven't heard about anything about that. I know
But
that
like in the
walls
courtyard or
won't
whatever.
be. Might be. But
I don't know,
think you
but
can
I
place
hope
any
there's
walls.
some sort of customization in there. It's I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about this, and even when they implement, the strongholds, the miniature guild keeps and whatnot. We did say it would seem super suck if you wouldn't be able to put like shitty walls around that, because then you could have like a group outside your guild. You log in one morning, you go open the door, and 10 guys rush into your little stronghold and start chopping you up and looting the place up. And what can you do about that?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I hope they have. I mean, it'd be nice if you could have at very least just like those palisade walls. That's like the old wooden ones, because they're easy enough to get through. I just don't like.
Yeah,
I
that's the
feel
fun
bad.
thing, right? These
What's
walls. You saw what happened number one.
Yeah.
These
Oh
walls.
yeah. I
Yeah,
get
but
that.
it should
I
be
don't want to see that again.
contained. It should be contained around that like area of that building, though.
Right,
Like
you're talking about the inside of the keep, just inside of it.
well,
If
I'm
you have
not
that
talking.
kind
I'm not just talking about the keep spots. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
the strongholds, because if
strongholds.
you build your stronghold, how are you gonna protect it per se?
Well, I don't think it's gonna be. I was looking forward to it actually. Yeah, making some sort of a bandit camp. Just fucking sitting in there my whole day and to wait at the right moment to raid and shit. But I don't think it's gonna be possible because it's gonna be. You won't have any palisades in this game. At least that's the idea, right? You won't have any closed gates that people cannot go into. But bandit camps have open gates, right? You can get in there, so why not like that? But if they don't do it like that, they won't have it in game. Not at all. So if you want to defend a stronghold, having these palisades would be great. They could make it that way. If not, perhaps the only way to defend your stronghold is by being on top of it. Shooting down like you showed, straight shooting down through the border with the bows and everything.
So, Myrmex, you would remember to check outside your window for people every time you logged in, right?
Pretty
I
much.
mean, I'm not the only one that gets in their car and looks in the back seat every time just to make sure there's not a
Oh,
murderer behind there.
it's the
Right?
kind of game. Yeah, it's the kind of
Like
game.
I do that in real life every fucking time I get in my car. I'm like, all right, nobody back there to fucking kill me, just to make sure.
Alright, when I walk the street, man, I look in somebody's eyes and I have to try to figure out if he's a crazy guy or if he's just a normal
What
guy.
the fuck? You're just walking down the street, just looking
Yeah,
at
man.
everybody's eyes.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
with
much.
here
Just
on
checking
this
out.
one.
It's kind of like a
What the
game of play,
fuck?
Sometimes there's people who have crazy eyes, I don't know what they went through, but I come from a crazy neighborhood,
Like if you go to the hood, you're more likely to get killed doing that than just not looking them in the eyes at all.
I
Right.
think if we don't have walls, people are gonna always be looking, which is sad for a thief, because people felt really safe when they had walls to just sit behind. They got complacent, they got lazy, and it was
Yeah.
easy to steal from them.
I agree. It would be actually quite interesting to have more harvesting options. If you get inside a keep or in a city, how do you want to build a city without a palisade? All that kind of crap.
You
You
can't
should be
really.
able to get in there.
And also, if I get inside your keep, with the new logout mechanic, I don't see like there's a big thing where you could just log out in somebody's keep and wait and log back in whenever you wanted, which was a problem. But now I have to worry. Like I can't just log off to hot. Like how long is it? 45 minutes? An hour?
What?
If you're
So-
AFK,
No, to log out in the world.
It's
2 minutes.
it's 2 minutes currently.
But how long
um,
does your body stay out there? Is that still?
It
is that
doesn't.
thing?
It
no,
does.
no. After 2 minutes, you're good.
Oh, then I'm
If you-
fine with that.
Are they
If you
going to
crash your
change that,
game,
though?
your body will stay though.
Okay,
The
okay.
plan was at the start to be about 5 minutes or something like that. But if you have a campfire or like a bed, you could log out faster, I believe. That was
It's
the
just
idea.
it's sad to break into somebody's keep and there's no one there. You're like, do I just wait now? Okay, I could just. All right, I thought I misunderstood the log mechanic.
Well, yeah, I think that was like a much older version of it or something that they were talking about. But in reality, like you log out in the wild, it takes 2 minutes. Your body goes away. In town, it's 10 seconds. I think in GK, it's also still 10 seconds too. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
in the
town.
middle of it is. Which they should remove in GK.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. Instant fucking disappearance.
Now, is this gonna change in the future? We have no idea. Like, I don't know if Henrik still wants to go with the whole campsite idea.
Yeah, I thought they just shortened it because we didn't have campfires. I guess that's something to ask him next time he has
I'm
his
kind of
Twitch on.
afraid that into these campfires that the whole fucking server will go down.
Yes.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Imagine like a group like throwing down a whole bunch of campfires at like a seat just to, like lag out the other team. Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That happened before.
Yeah, it was a thing. And they fixed it. And they banned people for it.
Wait, why would they ban people?
They were
You know what you're
they were dropping like just hundreds of campfires and causing crashes and stuff.
To ban someone for it when you allow it in your game?
They can't handle the FPS issues, and they don't want to have to implement something where there's some kind of timer on how long you can place it, so they just ban people.
Does anyone else have anything they would like to talk about?
I wanted to talk about bows and does everybody, I guess again, it's kind of hard to get a good idea what everybody else thinks about this, but where we're at doesn't take long to farm up the mats for good bows. Like I can farm up in like a half hour the mats for enough bows for weeks. Like just crepite or whitewood.
They've got to change some of this woodworking. Like these easy to get trees still do so well.
Yeah, and the wood is really accessible. There's tons of wood. There's not much use for it. I don't know. I just felt like the end game bows are really easily accessible, and there's not much reason for woods. And I don't know if was anybody else thinking that it was like a little too easy to get to the end game bows.
I mean, I think it's bullshit that there's so many different woods altogether because like if there's only one wood that really is effective, what's the point of all these other ones? Maybe for housing, but at the same time it's basically just like fuck this wood, yo.
Well, you can use, I mean, sponge, whitewood, firmwood, they're all good with bows. You can make good bows. The durability is not much different, which is what it was. Like, there was a huge difference in durability in Mortal 1.
Yeah,
And that made
to be
it
honest,
worth it to use weaker bows that you could just use to farm longer with. But that's not much of a difference now. I don't know what they did. I don't know what their goal is with the woods. It feels like they tried to make them as useless as possible with weapons. And
I
their
feel they don't
bows
have as
are
much as an impact as they say. It's kind of like every wood is the same. It just makes it a little bit of a small detail that makes it different, but it's not. It's just
Half the wood needs to be really shitty for making bows, because the slider differences were like less than 10% when I was testing.
Yeah. I'd be actually looking forward to fletching. What kind of arrows can you make? And,
Yeah.
But it comes down to bow crafting in the end. What is it of what kind of type? And I don't we have that much options. Fortunately. Oh, maybe it will come with different types of weapons. Like what is that one called? The obelisk. Like.
Well,
isn't there something they were working
wood
on?
is also used in shield making too, though. Like it's not just bows.
Yeah.
And housing. Shield
Sure.
stick.
but it doesn't even make that much difference in them.
Yeah. It's
I
Ironwood
guess
shields are pretty fucking OP. They're just
Yeah, they
extremely
are good.
heavy.
Yeah, they're good.
Ironwood
Put on my fat
shield,
mage.
though. Yeah.
There's one thing I really wanted to talk about, and that was the Guild Wars, the war deck. How's that gonna look like?
Who's dropping it first? Let's just put it there. I mean, you think Kodo's gonna put that first war out? Is it gonna be Integrity? It's probably not gonna be us. Well, I don't know. There's a few guilds that
Integrity,
would like this war deck.
Yeah.
Well, from what I heard, like this first iteration coming out is gonna be only consensual war decks.
That means from both sides. So
Yeah,
I agree.
which makes
I wanna
sense.
It could be a way for them to test it without breaking their whole game, because they have to make sure that guards won't attack you. Happen this, they could end up changing it.
I mean, it's essentially just adding the same type of guild attacking mechanic and changing your tag. So if you're at war with somebody, in the game's mind, you're in this other guild and you're like orange or something. At least they figured this shit out in 1992 with UO. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the flagging system now. This was that was 20-30 fucking years ago, and they can't figure it out. Like, come on, it's super easy. Just go into the code of fucking origin and it's there.
I'll be right back, guys. You guys keep going though.
Yeah, I don't think the first iteration is just gonna be, the consensual, and that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm good
They
with
can
that.
add to it later. The last thing they need is for, like, I don't know, a veteran guild just to start war decking new guilds
Yeah.
and forcing
Yeah.
it, and then just kind of grief them out of the game. So it makes sense. And it's probably just going to be testing to make sure you're not getting killed by the guards, even though you're war decked. Because in Mortal 1, that was a thing where you would drop a war deck, and then everyone had to log out and log back in order for you to not get guard whacked for attacking oranges.
Okay, so
Just
maybe
control.
if it's not a consensual war deck, guards will react in town. Because why are these guards just letting people who don't want to fight get their shit kicked in?
Well, that's the thing. They have to accept the war to be flagged.
Yeah.
I
as
mean, like
such.
once they get past the consensual war deck being the required method, like when you can just straight up war deck somebody.
Well, ideally, I would think, there's like it should actually have functionality. Declaring war should have like functionality behind the scenes. And if you're declaring war on somebody else, you should kind of you have to gain something from that, and they have to gain something from war decking you back. So
it's
I
like
mean,
the start and the end. Where does it end, though? You started.
sure, yeah.
Who's the winner? How do
Well,
you
it's
define that?
it ends when at least for us and people that have been aggressive with integrity, it ends when like you dunked on some of our guys in town, we went aggressive with you. You dunked on somebody else, and we put you on KOS. Now we KOS you until one of your guys messages us like, hey, can you stop doing this, and like we'll just stop fucking with you, and like that's where it ends. That's where war ends. That's where aggressive has ended with us in the past, and that's our stance. Like, we're not out there to kill people. We'll fight you if you want to fight, but we just don't want to just murder everybody off the server. We want everyone to have a good time, like do their own thing. We're not going to force anybody into a job or profession that they don't like. It's just
Right.
have
Hopefully
fun.
you can define that, though.
It's still the
Hopefully,
thing, though, that guilds will not be like you guys, Integrity. They would just completely wreck, exterminate people out of the game. So
And
that's
then we'll
just gonna
wreck
happen.
them.
So therefore,
That
yeah. So
that's we'll be. I mean, not the police. That's fucking a lame term, but essentially, like, I like to think of us as the good guys. Like we're not out there to fucking shit on this game. And fuck, I spent $3,000 on this computer just to play this game. This is all I want to do. Like, I want it to succeed. I want to see it go far. And god damn it, I want my goddamn boats, and I want to go sailing on the Sea of Mirland or Nave,
shit,
or
me
whatever the
too.
fuck they call
Man,
it.
I join you on that because that's what I'm looking forward to as well, dude. I've been trying to make this thing work from the start. PP content.
hopefully
20
we
Hell
do have
yeah.
the option to have conditions on the Guild Wars, though.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
just like friendly Guild War, like first to 100 kills, something like that. I think that would be just kind of a nice way to like have casual guilds implement the guild
I
rules and
like
stuff
for
like that.
consensual war decks, you could both stake something, and at the end, like we could do the 100 count. The winner gets the other person's stake.
Yeah, it could work.
I-
Because because MO1, it was right. You had to destroy the deed, right? The guild deed. And that's when basically ended.
Yeah, you had to destroy their guild house, or they had to lift their guild stone, and then it ended.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's these a lot of systems that are kind of missing to make this game more interesting, political
Yeah.
wise. You know,
It
like
hurt a
medieval
lot
times back then.
more. Like if it sucked when when it said, whatever guild has been defeated and all that, but it really didn't mean much. When I guess earlier in Mortal 1, when you pulled your guild stone or you were defeated and they blew up your guild stone, you lost all your prominence. Hopefully there is something like that you're going to lose
Yeah.
to make it worth it to not pull your guild stone or not just let people blow you up.
Why are you in that? There needs to be more meaning and more reason.
Yeah.
Be out there and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't even covered veteran points or what they are going to be. Like, how is that going to reward players from MO1 versus people that are new to the game? Like, we don't know what any of those mechanics are going to do. And I personally, my experience in MO1 was I had a terrible computer, so I'd be like starting out and I would just hear a bunch of hoof prints and then lag and be dead. So I didn't play a lot of MO1. Did play a little bit back when Wessex was a big thing. There were some cool, funny guys, but there's just so many unanswered questions in this game, and I'm gonna pull it back full circle that it's really up to us to get out there, test it, make content, motivate people to play, because like I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of inactive players. Like we're at the point of like probably demoting a lot of people because they're just not around. Like we love to have them, but like also we have to create stuff to do. And if we're not doing that as an entire community, we're kind of failing the devs and letting the game die. That's a
A
vague
little
term.
bit, yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, what are we? Until persistent, this amassing of wealth doesn't matter, and eventually we can amass the wealth, and they'll have 4 months before anybody gets uber rich, and things start taking off, and then we could. I'm hoping that we get more dungeon content, and just quality of life stuff as well.
The AI definitely needs whatever this tier 3 AI is, turn that shit on, because having a riser sit there and look at you on top of a fence, that's some bullshit. Fix that shit.
I mean, that's essentially the problem with minnows too. Like you can literally take your horse into minnows and ride circles around them and kill them off. And you also can just do that to the minnow king. You can
Yep.
take a horse.
That's the mounted archer, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
you
how
just
strong
can
that
solo
was.
him.
But hey, they're introducing the system. When you get up too far, the monster resets itself.
Well,
Yeah, they got to get rid of that. That's
well,
painful.
that's
That's
a
freaking painful, man.
that's a nice and all Myrmex, but that doesn't mean much for the what I just said. Like you can ride circles around the Minotaurs and the Minnow King and just solo that all with one build, MA.
I know.
Now
Yeah,
we
you don't
we
even
could do
have to
that in
reset.
MO1 too. It was
Yeah,
always pretty broken.
Yeah, MA could do that in MO1 too, and it seems to be so far the very much the same case here too.
Yeah, right.
Maybe around mobs, mounts lose stamina faster. I don't know. Get scared because it really was it was the easiest thing. I was doing it in the dark, no light, just aiming at silhouettes, killing 15 minotaurs at once.
Maybe they need to allow some range attacks. Like the trolls to throw rocks at you. Maybe the range needs to be longer, so you don't get that get out, get in anymore.
I mean, I think all weapons should have a throwable option. That's just me. It will never happen because the mechanics are so broken already, but you should be able to throw a spear Throw a knife. I don't care. Throw anything. Throw a sword at him. Like fuck it. Throw your bow at him. Who cares? I want to
Ooh,
see that shit.
that's really technical hard shit right there, mate. That's modern right there.
Yep.
Want to bring that to an MMO? Well, you gotta give up a lot of other shit for doing that.
I know. It's just a man can dream.
Has anyone killed the Minnow King on foot? Is that even a thing?
Oh
we
no.
did. Well, we were like 20 people, so just for both, completely shoot him. His HP is as long as the Minotaur himself.
So your group, when you were in there with Draco Sullivan, you guys were all on foot and you killed him?
Yeah, we went on horses, then get out of foot, and then we engaged him. But I don't know what happened. The gate kind of bugged out. So when you get in there in his ring, there's a wall of a gate coming down, and you get trapped. And we kind of walked him out of that. I hope it gets fixed because it's pretty annoying. Like you can't get away. You're not trapped actually in that situation. So it's pretty useless. But yeah, just shooting bows at him, arrows at him, and that's it.
Wait a minute. So he wasn't like stuck or anything? How did you guys deal with his massive amount of damage he does on foot?
He was kind of stuck, but we lost 2 people.
Oh,
at
he
least.
got
Yeah.
stuck. Okay.
Yeah, kind of a standstill. Yeah, after that gate, that was pretty stupid. Yeah, I don't want to say the word, but
Yeah, well, so like, let's say they fix it where you can't get a horse in there to MA him to death. So when we had a group go in there and they were half foot, half 1, 2 MAs, and he pretty much 3-shot all the guys that were in steel. Like he was just 3-shotting, Ogmian
Yeah.
steel. Like
pretty
his
much,
damage was insane.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, but
how
I
you
quite lucky.
if they were to like say you can't, you can't get a horse in there to do, MAM, or they give him some kind of ranged attack where he can knock you off your horse, how would you functionally be even able to deal with him on a foot group with the,
The fuck ton of healers.
Pretty much, yeah. Having something with healing, supportive kind of like spells maybe.
I mean,
Maybe
are all monsters meant to be fought on foot? I know it's a game and we would probably like it that way, but I mean, you don't really fight the Kamaru on foot.
That's true.
Yeah.
May it's that's intended design, but it does feel very underwhelming, like a guy on a horse can just go in there and solo the supposedly king of the dungeon.
Yeah, they should definitely add more ways to deal with ranged. Make it hard for ranged and damn near impossible for melee on certain fights,
I give that last boss some magic, some AoE magic, some earthquake shit. So you get fucking thrown off, knockback, That's really annoying. Get to do that.
Where is he gonna get the black opals though?
I don't know. Maybe he's gonna take it out of his ass. I don't know.
Do we have any information on kite shields, by the way?
They are eventually coming, and I did see that comment now. I was looking at the Twitch chat, and that is a worry, and that's definitely one of the things, like I do think they need like a system definitely for that, because that's gonna be the meta shield for like these small mages, and it's gonna cover their entire being.
I can't wait for kite shield in my Ogmere tank.
Oh, I know, dude. When the kite shields come out, or the tower shields, that's gonna be on my Ogmere tank.
Wait, did they say kite shields and tower shields are coming out before launch?
No, they did not.
No.
I'd love to see kite shields. Oh, they're gonna be so pretty.
Tower shields are they're gonna be so strong.
Dude, isn't it's like, if imagine you make a short ass fucking Ogmere, like the tower shield's probably just gonna be the same exact fucking size as them. You won't even be able to like shoot around it.
Yeah, I mean they were strong in Mortal 1. Mortal 1, if Avila had one on his back and was running, you could only hit them if their feet clipped through the back of the shield at the bottom. You have to swing down with their feet.
Is hilarious.
Yeah.
But that also brings back to our earlier point: is adding shield weight into armor weight.
I'm a big
Is-
fan of that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know
Hurts
about
the,
that.
hurts
I
the
just,
mages more than mages and archers more than anyone else.
I think a
The
strength
people who would abuse it.
would be good because I don't know what the penalty would be, but I think a strength requirement would be.
You
better
just
than
tuned into the
adding it
latest
to
channel
armor.
on Twitch.
yeah, I didn't think about the armor weight would definitely hurt foot fighters more. I didn't realize that when I threw that idea out there, but yeah, I mean, a strength requirement would probably make more sense or something like that.
I mean, we can all agree that something needs to be done about shields, and it needs an adjustment of how they work and what the requirements are.
I
Right?
think there should be more investment to be able to use them. Yeah,
I also
would say
agree
that.
on that. I think to properly utilize a shield to its fullest capacities, I think there needs to be more investment into it.
Boots, in your thoughts?
I don't know. I think shields are fine personally. As are. I'm just curious what kite shields will be like if they're, I don't know if there's gonna be a shield where you're not even allowed to have like a weapon out or anything. I don't know how MO1 was with shields or whatever, but I don't know. I think shields are fine. I think different wood types, meaning having more value in different like fields, including shields, would be great though.
In Mortal 1, shields were extremely strong, especially tower shields. They covered
Why?
like the entire left side of your body. So if you swung on the left side of your body, if they swung on the left side of your body, it was a like, guaranteed equipment hit.
Did
So
the
you didn't even
equipment
have
hits?
to block with it. You just kind of keep turning yourself facing the left side towards your enemy, and most of the time they're going to get an equipment hit.
Did they work the same way? Equipment hits, like pretty much no
Yeah,
damage sort of thing.
pretty much. I mean, they did. They work generally the same way. But people wouldn't even block with them. They would just kind of face the shield towards them. I thought it was funny. I mean, I always thought it was funny. You didn't have to worry about it as a mage, but people always complained about them. But they also, towards the end, I think because everybody used the shields, like they would just use spongewood shields or something like that, they would break easier. I might be wrong about that.
I think
And-
I definitely think like compared to MO1, I think in MO2, shields would definitely be stronger because if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there some kind of weird animation with shields when you went to like stab or attack with them? Like you would lift them like up into the air and like your lowest section would be vulnerable. Am I just incorrect on that?
Sorry, say that again.
Like there was like a weird animation with the shields and MO1 like when you went to stab, like your character would lift it up into the air.
Yeah, if you had a spear, it was just the animation for spear shield where when you would cock back your spear, the shield would kind of come up like you're holding it underneath, kind of like you're holding it up for a shield wall type deal. And you would I think that's just the spear animation.
Okay. So far in MO1, like the shields, they don't have anything weird like that. They pretty much when you go for a stab or any swings on them, they're pretty stationary on your being, like covering, the parts that they're intended to cover. So I am kind of curious when they do eventually add in the kite shields and the tower shields, how they're gonna be.
What is
They're
the actual
they're going to be
difference
way better
between?
than what we have now.
All right. So, what do you guys think to stop equipment hit abuse if it drains a little bit of stamina? Like, we still keep it low damage when you get an equipment hit, but you just lose a little stam.
I mean, it would only affect certain circumstances. Like, it wouldn't affect a fat mage at all, unless he's on foot.
Well, yeah, I'm talking from the point of view of like a dex mage, so I'm kind of skewed.
Okay. Well, if a dex
Well, I
mage is
mean,
running from you with the shield on his back, he's already slower than you.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, if you're a Vila, you're not. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you have to punish people for it. You just, if there's just a little bit more investment, it may make a little bit more sense. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem, even if they don't nerf it, because when you get to necromancy or elementalism or whatever comes next, you're going to have to drop skill points for something, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, I just don't think, I don't think it's as big as a problem for Dex mages, because Dex mages are pretty, I mean, they got nothing, right? I think there's other things you can look at if you're trying to like just.
Wait, are we talking about shields are a problem because of mages only?
No, I'm not.
No, I've always felt it was kind of gross to just eat equipment hits without
Yeah,
having the
I
shield
get equipment hits
active.
all the time on spears. They're just holding in their hands.
Yeah.
Equipment hits are bigger than shields.
Yeah, but I mean, for me personally, like what I was talking about earlier with using the shield bash mechanic, like without having those skills, like if I'm using a shield over 2.1 weight on my small little fucking tiny Vila, like I've got like 5, maybe 6 blocking attempts of doing that and hoping like my line comes back around. Otherwise, you got me. You know, like that's just how that build works. So without having blocking and endurance and any of that other foot fighting stuff, like it's already doing that essentially because it does cost quite a bit. I don't know how much the quick parry is, but when you don't have that blocking endurance, like you're super punished for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have blocking on my fat mage, and I remember when I would try and fight on foot, and I would try and block something like I'm stamping.
I think mainly we're talking about mages with shields on their back while mounted. I don't think we're really talking about like on foot or whatnot.
Well, why is it a problem for fat mages with a shield on their back? I mean, most people are probably shooting your horse. 1, 2, you have a 50% spell interrupt, and you're still taking damage from the equipment hit.
I've seen Tuma plenty of times not get interrupted while just healing his horse.
Yeah, but you gotta. I mean, you can't expect them just to get interrupted every time. It's 50% chance.
You
right?
can't expect that every time. But like Tuma's like had MAs on him for days, and they couldn't bring him down. And I've seen it with other fat mages too.
Well, one, I don't know how skilled these MAs are, but like, how does he ever win the fight if he's constantly healing? Explain that to me.
Eventually, they're gonna run out of arrows, right?
No.
Well, he could run out of reagents.
MAs are gonna have enough arrows.
Yeah, I think I think they're strong. It's strong, but if you take that shield away, fat mages get real weak real fast.
Yeah, they're gonna get like 3 shot by an MA.
For sure, yeah.
There's in Mortal 1 again. Like everyone who played a fat mage knew they're pretty dog shit. You have like no viability 1v1.
So you're telling me that the kite shield and the tower shield, the only difference between the two is the size?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well. I was gonna ask that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I
okay.
think the weights were technically different, but the weights didn't really come into
Right.
like.
And
Wait,
the
the
tower
protection
shield
values
isn't
aren't the
that
same?
like is the tower shield like the Roman shield one? Kind of like big.
I mean,
Yeah.
also
Angle one.
the like when you block kite shield, obviously the hitboxes are different. You can see over the top of the round shields a lot easier. When you use the kite shields, they cover up more of your screen, and when you use the tower shields, there's like little holes that you have to look through, so it blinds you a little bit too. But the
Oh,
hitbox is
okay.
way bigger. And like I said, most people didn't even block with shields in Mortal 1. They just had them in their left arm,
For
and
sure.
it covered their
Yeah.
entire left side of their body.
Just like Life is Feudal. But I don't know, was there any kind of like group that tried to do shield wall number one? With that kind of shield?
I'm sure people tried to. I mean, when Dread was fighting RPK, there was times where it would be a 25 versus 25 ish on both sides, and 15 to 20 of the people had shields, and there weren't shield walls, but everyone had them.
Shield
know?
wall.
Right.
Oh, that would be sick.
The actual unit of shield walls, yeah.
Yeah, those fights lasted forever, but it was
You could do shield walls like even with small groups and like those like fab dungeon like sewers. You could definitely end up seeing something like that in the future. That'd be cool.
I mean, that's how I started. One of the first group fights I had was at the Fab Bridge, and I think it was Housey Poo. I don't know. It was somebody fucking hilarious because like they came straight at us, and it was back when we were TE. And the first thing I did was just knock them off, and they were just like, "Well, I wasn't expecting that." And then it was instead of a 3v3, it was a 2v3. So it just shows the effectiveness, especially with bridges and anything like that. Like a shield wall in this game can be fucking insane. Pulling it off, not very easy, but you can
Very hard
also,
indeed, yeah.
yeah, you can like if you can push people over the shield wall by having like another shieldman and have the dude jump, and you can fucking launch somebody up and over and they can still downward swing. The mechanics of that, like that's movie shit. It's going to be super hard to do, but it is fucking possible.
It is a discipline. I've seen people try and lavish fuel, which was where most of my boys came from, and then from Darfur. Then they had also shields back then, but
Yeah.
you didn't use any shields for blocking. It was just, as it gives you more defense and kind of shit. You still get hit every time.
Yeah.
So I was wondering that, but if you can have sort of use shields as a collision kind of like defense, well, you can definitely have some shield bearers in the back, in the rear, to protect the mages, kind of shit. And you get shot by arrows and all that.
Come on, you're really cool. Let's go.
Kind of curious. Have they talked about like much about like crossbows and how
Let's
they will
try,
work in
Yugi. Let's
comparison
go.
to bows?
Let's go, man. I'm a bit laggy, but that's
It's
fine.
okay.
No,
Use
I don't think
use
he's
the lag
covered
to your
like what
advantage.
stat
Just
they're gonna
jump.
use.
You know.
I'm interested to see if they'll have
do
like
that.
siege crossbows or whatever that like can't even be like
Let's go.
I don't know. Maybe it can't be like used horseback or like like require like an extreme amount of like stamina to use something because they're so powerful. Like basically like really heavy hitting like crossbows. Like I don't know how that
it's
stuff
like
will work.
carrying around a Hellcaster.
Yeah, I mean like I just don't understand like how it's gonna differ too much from bows without like making it like extremely OP.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing I would expect the damage to be high, but the reload to be longer.
Yeah, a little
So,
more
I
hit
mean, I
scan
don't
on the
know.
range.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, maybe, hopefully, the reload is. I don't know. Like, hopefully, the reload, if it's going to be hitting harder than what's already out there now, hopefully, the reload is pretty brutal to the point where it's something you defend objectives with as opposed to riding around on your mount.
Well, like I think in traditionally like crossbows like armor penetrating weapons too. So maybe if they hit like a little bit harder and then had some sort of like armor negating effect too, like on their shots. So they're not just like one shotting mages, but like still
20% armor
shot.
pen or something, that'd be hot.
Yeah, some sort of armor penetration. Pretty
I don't even
cool.
think you'll need armor pen if they put the blunt arrows in.
Yeah, that's
Mages
gonna
are
smack.
or mounted archers are going to be so strong when the blunted arrows come in because there's not much good armor right now. Like most of the armor out there is pretty
What
trash for
what
blunt.
armor did we used to have that was good for?
Thursar in Mortal 1, I'm assuming you mean? Thursar plate was good. Direptor. What was it? Direptor to. Oh, Draco.
Raptor was like top
yeah.
slashing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you would use a combination of everything. It's like the in Mortal 1, the weights for each, or the weight in the sliders or the defenses for each piece of gear was slightly different. Right now, if you have 70 piercing on your chest, your arms have it, as long as it's the same type and material. It wasn't like that in Mortal 1, so you would use a combination of different armor sets, and they would use like Draco for high piercing on your chest, and then Thursar for high, like decent piercing but high blunt on your chest, because people would use the exceptional blunt arrows, which were far superior to broadheads.
And then what? You throw a bunch of blunt defense on the bottom so you don't get dismounted.
It depends what the meta was, but yeah, I mean, high blunt legs, chest, high piercing. Well, I mean, some people would do high piercing helmet. Other people would just have fillers on your helmet, because if you got hit in your head in Mortal 1, it was almost always a weak spot. So you would have lighter armor on your head, and like your shoulders and your gloves weren't part of your arms, which they are now. So they would all just be filler, really light gear, so you could use heavier gear everywhere else.
Interesting.
Yeah, the customization in your armor was way superior in Mortal 1. And I'm assuming you'll get to that eventually. They just, they got shit to put in. I get that.
I'm gonna
I
be
hope
right
they
back,
don't
boys.
go. Yeah, okay, no worries. I hope they don't go back to 10 pieces though. Like
Yeah, I
the
think
banking of that shit was so annoying.
I'm back and forth on like the armor. I like that it's only whatever 5 pieces right now. That's cool. It's a lot easier to deal with. I hopefully you can customize the arms a little better
I kind of,
because it is 3 pieces in one now, and
I
you lose a
kinda-
lot of the visual customization.
I don't know if 10-piece, but I kind of hope they would, make 8-piece.
Yeah, I really liked running around with Crow Knight boots as a mage in Mortal 1.
Yeah, that'd be
It was just because I was a mage that lived up in Gawkor and I had Crow Knight, but I had nothing to use it for. So I'd
Just a
make Crow
big
Knight.
flex.
Yeah,
Why even use it for boots though?
just because I could take them off real quick. Literally just wasting
I don't know.
materials.
If there was a way to like condense like an entire armor set into one slot, I wouldn't care. Honestly, it's really about storage and like managing like that many pieces of gear. Already, it's fucking annoying. 5 pieces. Like you put like 2 sets or 3 sets in one bag, and I don't know. Very very annoying to manage. Thinking about like long term like building up sets and stuff, having to have sets.
So, how do y'all feel about we got Spiritism, which is arguably the least useful magic school, rather than Necromancy or Elementalism or something new that would be fun?
Well, you need Spiritism for Necromancy.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. I'm a spiritist main. My main character is going to be a full spiritist. It's one of the strongest abilities or magic schools in the game. Most people just didn't use it or didn't have reason to use it.
Oh
But
no,
it's actually like
it's
a
one of the
really
best thief things too.
yeah, well that too. But for like sieging and guild warfare, it's
Yeah, it's super
incredibly
useful.
good, incredibly strong. And if you have a spiritist, a full spiritist, and your enemy doesn't, you have a huge advantage from a scouting perspective. Just obviously being be able to res anywhere is nice, but
It's
scouting and all that, it's huge.
I'm not arguing that it's not great, like a great magic school. It's just like it's not fun for development. It's like we already knew what this did. You didn't give us all the spells. We can't go into the ether and like fill our spirit boxes. It just feels like a half-ass throw. Or like, here's some stuff. We had this finished. They're probably a year away from giving us any magic school we haven't seen.
I can barely hear you, man.
It's something. It's just one of the boxes they need to check. I don't know.
It's just kind of fucked from the game
It's
side.
hopefully when they implement it this
Explains a
this
lot.
what is it Monday when they put it out. Hopefully everything goes
Oh
well and
wait,
they can start.
we're getting
start
more
on
Magic
Necromancy.
Monday. What's Monday?
It's the second half of all Spiritism.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah, we're getting the
Maybe it'll
Eagle
be
Grill.
a little more fun then. And once they give me some walls to get behind, it'll be real fun.
So what did you need from Spiritism for Necromancy?
spirit boxes or the spirits in full spirit boxes.
The Necromancy takes spirit boxes?
Some of the stronger spells, yeah. When you summon, you need them. I believe Mana Leech, Death Hands, like the best spells took spirits.
And the Death Hand specifically because it only takes spirits, so a spiritist with necromancy could res anywhere and be ready to mental projectile snipe somebody for a 50 or smack him in the face with a Death Hand for a 50.
Yeah.
And Death Hands was like a melee range spell?
Yeah, it's super hard to land on anybody running circles. Especially with just prediction, and it was bad.
It's really strong, but it's when people realize how to play against it, it's really not that tough to deal with.
I use it when I catch somebody unaware, and then we kind of just shift away.
How hard does it hit for roughly? Yeah, like a flame strike or a
They
Thunder Lash?
nerfed it at the end. It's less than a flame strike. It's like a thunder lash, but it heals you a little bit.
On my 130, I think I had 140 in it when I put all the rings on. I hit an 88 Death Hand.
Yeah, they did. Well, yeah, stack intelligence kind of hit real
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. I mean, I was using rings and stuff, but it can get up there.
So the most utility, like the best thing about it is that you can move fast, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Not
You
like the
can
damage
jump,
or
you
the
can
lifesteal.
kite. Yeah, you can. It's going to be really strong. All of Necromancy, if it's not nerfed, is going to be really, really strong.
That's
for
when Dex
mages.
Mage will finally have a say in anything.
Because
But
I used
until
to
then, we're
think
trash.
I used to think that Death Hands would be really OP on a fat mage, and then someone told me it was like melee range, so it's probably not much of a fat mage mechanic.
It's
or a
actually
Dex
way
mage.
better on a fat mage than anything.
You hit
On a
so
Dex
hard.
mage, I stopped using it at the end. There's just better spells.
Can you use it from horseback though if it's such
Yeah.
short range?
With
You
flow.
can. I used to ride up next to people and hit people
If they make Earthquake
because you can
dismount,
move.
if they make Earthquake dismount, then Death Hand will be the king. You hit 3 of those before somebody gets back up.
Well,
and
they
is on their horse
nerfed
and running.
that. They nerfed that because they scaled the duration of your knockdown based off of your armor weight and your character weight class. So if you're obese with heavy armor, you're going to be down there for a bit. But you can, if you get into melee range on mount, you could just sticky back people with it because you can turn while casting it on your mount.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if someone brought this up last podcast or if this was just a discussion I had with someone, but someone was saying that you used to be able to stop as a fat mage or a mage in general on mount. Like you could stop your horse from obviously you still couldn't turn or whatever, but you could,
Yeah, if you hit R, like you were,
yeah,
it
we
would
should get
stop
that
you
back,
instantly.
honestly, and that would help like not just mages but like anybody in general to be able to like control your mount better, like an MA. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with them bringing that back. It was nice.
There was a short time in the MO2 beta where you could turn while casting like any spell with the ecumenical. That was a fun time.
Yeah, you'll get them again. When Necromancy comes out, you're not going to have to worry about mages being weak. They're so strong when Necromancy comes out. And they get even stronger when Elementalism comes out.
So maybe you guys can explain a bit more about necromancy and like raising the dead. So I know there was like the DK thing. I'm not really referring to that. I'm talking about like wasn't there like a light like spell you could use that would raise zombies or something?
Yeah, you could get skeletons, zombies, or mummies.
Yeah, and those
and
did
they're
not
better
cost
in
pet
that
points?
order. No, it drains mana as they're up. So if you are a full meditation fat mage with a shit ton of mana and you're sitting down at a campfire, you could have 8 mummies or something up, and they would just shit over everything.
And you could set them to like aggressive stance and shit like a normal pet.
No, you had to hit somebody with a specific spell, and if they were targeted by the spell, they would target that guy.
So it was like an attack this spell sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like you mark somebody to be a target, and then they all attack it. But the mummies were particularly strong because their first attack would always be this ranged attack. So if you had 8 of them up, and then you hit somebody with that was it Dark Orders it was called, the first target always just got blown right up. It's pretty OP.
Looking forward to that. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
I knew a guy before they nerfed mummies who would use it to farm the Rizar Chieftain. He would just sit in that room and summon mummies all day.
Yep.
Could you log off in dungeons normal?
Yes, you could, but I mean, you wouldn't log off in that one really. There's not a lot of safe spots.
Oh.
But definitely like the oh, why the fuck am I blanking? What's the one all the way in the south where you get Animal Mag?
Satyr
Satyrs.
Dungeon?
Yeah. Satyr Dungeon, there's a final door where it's like you put a key in, open the door, and then you're in the final boss room essentially. Right outside that door, you could log out and be fine. And so you could farm that one pretty easily.
Yeah, towards the end of Mortal 1, there was like 3 or 4 groups of people playing, and all 3 or 4 groups had like teams logged out in that end room. So we would log in every 20 minutes just looking for people to farm the boss so we could kill him. And everybody did it to each other, so it would be like a 4-way fight like 2 or 3 times a week. And everybody usually died because whoever was going to die would run into the mobs and aggro everything. and then everybody would just die.
What did the boss give?
So the boss was a priest, and it was, it wasn't too tough if you had enough people.
We were
but it would drop.
3-manning it. Like, I'm pretty sure if I were my fat mage, we could have 2-manned it. But 2 healers and a 1 DPS can do it.
There were 3 chests in the room, and you could get spiritism scrolls off it, mental projectile, and I forget what else. But you would get keys for the chests, and the chests drop the animal magnetism book, which is what allows you to do the Death Knight summoning and the Tupalax and shades and all that.
So what were scrolls for in the game?
You need a scroll and a seal, and then you just mash them together, and now you can scribe it into a spell book if you have the skill to scribe.
Yeah, the seal unlocked the scroll. I think that's how it worked.
And a lot of the times, the seal is the bitch to get. That was like every elementalism scroll, almost everyone drops in the Satyr dungeon, one of the Satyr dungeon chests. So getting the scrolls isn't the hard part. It's you have to travel around the entire world and swim up the butthole of the Vila cave to get a water breathing sphere.
So each school of magic had its own spellbook. Well,
no, they all went into the same book. They just, you could put them in different books, but you just get a new page every time.
So it's like unlocking another chapter of that book.
Yeah.
Oh, and then did you drop it when you died or no?
No. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, it was like spell books towards the end of the game are like full elementalism, full necromancy. They would sell for like almost a stack of gold.
So what schools of magic did we have in M1 by the end?
Elementalism, necromancy, spiritism, and ecumenical. 4.
Okay, so we never had like animism, or
I mean, it's in the tree, but there's no spells for it.
Wasn't there like 2 or 3 more too on top of that? Something?
No, the scrolls were in the game for like mentalism, animism, demonology,
magic.
like all sorts of shit. But the seals weren't in the game, and the skills weren't put in the skill tree.
Yeah, nobody could teach you how to do the magic, and I was really hoping we'd get some kind of illusionary magic early, but what's the point if I can't even thief? Let's get thievery on the table first. How do y'all feel about the delay of thievery? It's not going to be out on release. I think they should wait like 3 months before they let anyone steal anything. These people are, if you lose something in your first week of farming, you're real upset. If you've been here 3 months and then you lose a week's worth of work, you're probably going to stay. I think it's just good for population retention.
Yeah, it's probably better that they're not around. They don't need another way to. We don't need another way to grieve.
They can get grieved so many ways. Let's just.
I'm assuming when they say thieving, they're including like lockpicking in the whole tree.
Yeah, I hope lockpicking is one of my I like going out and finding chests and lockpicking.
Yeah, I always thought the lockpicking was actually pretty cool.
Right, there's
it's extremely lucrative when people. Sorry, God.
No, you're good. Like, there's no reason for a bandit camp to like have a chest and have it just be wide open. Like, they're really not hard to take down.
That's a crate at that point.
But yeah, like an urn. Okay, yeah, the urn is open, but like nobody's gonna have a big old chest full of goodies that's not locked. Like and that will help thieves have an active role in non-PvP situations as well.
Yeah, I think the extra investment should get you some extra reward. Chest being open doesn't incentivize that at all. I also think the chests are really underpowered and should be buffed if they do go that route.
Agreed.
They should have more loot than what they never even when they're full, you'll get maybe 5 gold. What at that point?
Yeah, but how much is 5 gold? We don't know how much. The majority of the gold, the usefulness of gold in Mortal 1, a lot of it was really for guild leaders and shit. I mean, the normal person would buy and sell materials, but you could buy and sell materials over the course of a week, and then you could get in even an hour, just 20 minutes to an hour of farming in Mortal 1. you would have enough gold to like, buy your bandages for a couple days and all that shit.
Yeah.
Now, like you could kill pigs for 15 minutes and have enough gold for
Pigs is
like a week,
gross
shit.
money.
Yeah, it's
They need
crazy.
to fix shield bashing with a complete inventory full of bags full of pig, and then you just make 400 gold.
Oh, you mean pushing people when they're overweight?
Yeah, that's just the easiest way to make money. It's so upsetting. I can't not do it because why would I go grind money when there's pigs right outside of town?
That's particularly bad in GK. I really don't like that there's pigs in GK. That's probably just because.
I think Henrik has went on the record saying like the pigs will be going away at some point and will be
Oh,
at
cool.
their correct spots.
Okay, that's good.
Well, they already nerfed like the amount of pigs, most spawns. Yeah, I don't know. I don't find pig farming all that like it's good for materials like early like training sets or like just bone tissue sets, but I don't find it
Well,
all
it's
that
really
lucrative.
strong for. Well, if you go to a new town, you can fight in.
Yeah, in an hour
10
I'll
minutes.
have 200 gold. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they're way too close. I don't want to nitpick at it if it's going to be removed or
yeah,
what.
move them further away. It's fine
But
because
if they were outside of town in every town, or even in like Morin Kerr, if they were just across the bridge or something like that, it would be better. But
Well,
you get a Malj right there, and they're like a Malj is like the
good
third
bow,
best.
good bows.
Yeah, the Malj is like the third best material for bows, which is crazy. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about when we were talking about bows.
Well,
It's
you get a lot of
wild.
them mauled from zombies too, though. It's easier to
Yeah,
get
but
from
they're at
zombies
least
than
down at the
pigs.
bottom of the. They're at least down at the bottom of the scaffolding. I'm fine.
Well,
I don't
know
care.
why you're nitpicking the town of MK specifically, but like some of the graveyards were really close. Like Fab's really fucking close. Meduli's really fucking close.
Tendrum, it's in the
like,
city.
It's in the city. I mean, there's no guards, but it's technically in the city still.
I honestly just think you shouldn't be allowed to make bone material bows.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing that more recently. That bone bows are not even bad at all, or something.
Bone tissue is not bad. That's a good if that's what you're starting with, you can still hit way better than a vendor bow.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just another thing like people instead of chopping wood, they're just gonna have a ton of bone tissue bows to, kill horses, other not good so good things.
Does anyone have like any like predictions for like day one launch day?
Complete shitfest.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
called
server crashes.
Yeah. Fighting
So
the boss queue.
Yeah,
That's going to be a
login
big
is
thing.
going to be pretty wild. I don't know.
It's
A lot
called
of bitching.
waiting 2 weeks for the queue to clear up.
2 weeks. Yeah, I'm like debating whether or not to ask my job for time off.
Not that first week. It'll be time wasted.
Yeah, like dude, like even before the pushback when it was supposed to launch, like I literally had to ask my job for time off, and then he pushed it back, and I was just like, well, now I've got some days off, but like that was my vacation time, so like how much can I trust this launch, and when do I take the time off in order to be most productive for my guild and the server? Because there's going to be so many new people like asking thousands upon thousands of questions. Because there is a lot of hype. People have been watching streams. They're asking when it's going to be released. They want to play this game. They're not going to know what the fuck they're doing, but that's okay. It's just, you
Is
don't
it
want
the
to get
25th or the 26th?
25th.
25th.
Hey, for that reason, for
Tuesday.
that exact reason, I'm actually working on a guide to have out quite a few people. It's just stuff that I want to bring into the PP aspect. I'm working on that kind of shit.
Nice. Yeah, and I mean, anytime you guys want to, like, any of guilds want to have big fights or just fights in general, like, our Discord is open to pretty much anyone for our lobby, so feel free to pop in, say, meet for a fight, whatever,
Hello.
or we've
yeah,
set
yeah.
up trading. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that, but we have a complete ticket system where you can put in a ticket to buy goods, and we even deliver it. We charge delivery fees for different towns depending on how far away they are from our base camp, which is beta. But we strongly recommend everybody start using these tools that we've set up that will hopefully one day be in game, but for now we've gone ahead and done it. Like a lot of stuff that Henrik has talked about with the trading system, we have active. Like buy orders, Integrity's got you. Anything you want. Campedon's done. I think we delivered one yesterday to Meduli for something like 200 gold or something like that. Just gave our guys something to do. Somebody that didn't want to go spend the time to get a Campedon spent the time to farm the gold, and now they have a Campedon, and they can go out and get it killed or train it up or whatever the hell they want to go do with it.
Not a
Good shit.
backtrack, not to try to backtrack on anything, but the one gentleman talked about in chat when we were on the bows, and I feel very much the same way. I don't think you should be able to make bone material plate armor either.
Yeah, certain materials just, if you can make it, it needs to get scaled way down, because thinking about what a bone tissue bow would be like, I'm pretty sure that would be the shittiest bow ever.
Yeah, and I know that this is a game and whatnot at the end of the day, but like, really, how realistic is it to take like the bones of an animal and forge them into plates for, you know, into not, well, I could guess you can forge them into plates, but not the plate like how the armor is in game. You could use them as like a splint, you know.
Looks like it'd just be like wearing like the rib cage. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I found where I'm gonna put my house, you guys. Nothing's real in this game. Nothing's real. The walls are fake. These mountains.
Center of the earth. The center of the earth. Journey to the center of the earth.
Where the fuck are you, dude?
I swam around Syndrome and then I got past the invisible wall. Then I found a fake mountain. We're gonna see what's down here. Oh shit! Where'd the mountain go? Oh,
10,000 salvia.
Look at it all.
Single fucking drop of 10,000 salvia.
There's no way to get out, but I'll just live down here and be an addict.
Yeah, this is the same case behind the GK, the Galcor gate, the Black Gate. Like, this is just fake mounds the whole way across there.
I'm wondering if I can get on top of the Tindrum walls by looping around here. Sorry, I know we were discussing bows and bone tissue and plate armor. I just accidentally ran into a fake mountain.
So has Henrik? I saw people talking about this after the stream, but has he ever mentioned like strongholds being able to control towns?
He has not. That is a good point to bring up. Like how close housing is going to be allowed to towns, things of that nature. If you're going to be allowed to attack towns with siege weapons, like so much is unknown about that. But yeah. I'd like to see it.
Like we still don't even know how we can expand our territory, correct? Like from keeps.
No idea.
I thought the territory expansion was based off of the ruins that were spread around the keeps.
You're talking about like the scenic ruins that don't have a purpose right now? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, they're around all the keeps. I thought he said that's what we would be building up to.
Well, there's not enough. They're way too inconsistent, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. Unless specific ruins control specific towns, but like how does that affect the rest of the wilderness? Because like if I'm thinking about like MK, there's 3 keeps like south and west of MK, right? There's Northern Steppe, there's Central Steppe, and there's Morinker. Like right. There is not a single ruin. Well, there's one ruin directly east of Northern Steppe, but there's not another single ruin between those keeps and MK. So it would make no sense on like how you determine which one got MK or how to expand in that direction. Like I don't think the ruins have anything to do with it, because of the inconsistency. If they were more strategically placed, sure, but
no control towers. They've said that we're not going to use that.
They've said, I think they've said that they're not going to do it, but I don't know what other fucking choice they have, unless they just call it something different. Like I don't know. Like you have to have some sort of system like that, right? Like.
Yeah, he seems really against it.
Yeah, he does, but like, how else do you do it?
He looks like he gets really upset when he talks about him.
Because that was probably like one of their like biggest like complaint pools was just like people placing these
Oh, I
towers
guarantee.
and
Oh,
unreachable
I guarantee it.
places.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
So, on topic with this is he said this a really, really, really long time ago, but he said there was gonna be some kind of faction warfare, like between the Tingermene and the Nordveld and the Karite. So I thought like and he talked about how those various factions are gonna be able a fight for control over the towns, and the players will be able to pick a side on that conflict. But that was talk from Combat Alpha.
Isn't that the when you have like the NPCs that roam from one faction and when they see a different faction they engage them?
I guess I think he did say something along them lines, but how it's
Yeah.
gonna be implemented, I have no idea. And
Yeah,
really,
I remember something like that.
that sounds like
He,
stuff far into the future, you know.
Well,
yeah, he said stuff
minus
in battles, and you can join these NPC battles or something like that.
Yeah.
well minus the NPC battles. I mean, that literally just sounds like where like different factions have to earn rep in this town, and then they can declare war. Then that faction owns that town. But there's like also like a specific guild that owns that town, but it belongs also to that faction of Marauders or Covenant, whatever. Yeah, that just sounds like New World to me. I think if they go that route, they'll just get labeled as like a copycat, and I don't know. It doesn't even sound fun. I like the idea of like the NPC wars and being able to join in on that, and then like, you know, I also am like a big fan of like how Last Oasis used to have like those random meteor sites, and then you would all like run there to get like this like super cool resource and like generate PvP. And I really hope that like they take a page from that book, and because
They
the
did it in
Tefra
Number
Crater
One.
is a meteor, you know, so
No,
like
They
why
had
would
that
it
in
be?
Mortal 1.
Yeah, little
Okay.
lights in the sky would drop. Sometimes it would be like a meteor where it's like, hey, here's some really good ore mine, and this lasts until server reset. And then other times it was like the best version of a weapon in the game. It's like, here's the fucking greatest bow except on crack.
Yeah, they would drop like it was actually pretty cool. Like a meteor would fall from the sky, and there would be like a portal. Wait, I forget. There wasn't a portal on top of the weapons, was there?
When it was on the ground.
Yeah, when it was on the ground.
Yeah, when it was on the
Yeah.
ground, it had something, but if you picked it up, it didn't.
Yeah, so everybody would run to it, and it could be armor, really light but really good armor, or like a short bow that a dex mage could use.
The demon stone, where you actually get a pet demon.
Oh yeah, and you could stable it too. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I have a level 100 demon.
Well, like a good example of something similar that we've seen in the game that we just kind of like went off about was a lightning struck this horse near us when we were out roaming. Like straight up, just hit it, and we're like, "Holy shit, it survived!" But, like our goal was like to tame it and like have it be some mystical fucking horse, but it ended up dying because it just for whatever
That's what horses
reason.
do when you take a 3-foot fall.
Well, no, it's he got struck by lightning, so because of the mechanics of how the hell or the hunger works, like it made it hungrier by itself, untamed. So it just eventually, like we were like halfway through taming it and it died, but it was like, oh, that would have been like a super cool story for us to have because there was I think 6 of us at that time that just saw this thing get hit. Which, I mean, the lightning in the game is super cool. I don't know if anybody's been hit by it themselves, but it's fucking dope. But getting some sort of special achievement, or let's say it gives you +1 to your weapon for example's sake.
I've been hit many times by these lightnings, dude. I never really took any damage. I don't know why.
Very conductive.
Pretty much.
I think it's cool, but more stuff like that would be fucking rad.
Did they make it more frequent in the last patch?
Yeah, Desert Storm and Saduka, weather effects. That'd be great.
Also, they need to sync them because I've noticed that like it can be raining and having a lightning storm on my screen, and the other guy's got clear skies.
Yeah.
Right. What they could do is when it rains, your stamina consumption is going to be a bit higher.
Yeah. Well, they also haven't done the whole heat mechanic yet, so it'll be interesting to see where they take that. But is armor going to be enough, or do you have to wear fur armor, or does it, XYZ? Like, that's a big unknown, which that's going to be a big change, and they have to launch that before release, so we're going to all be the guinea pigs for that one too.
They really
I'm
need
looking
a
forward to that.
VoIP volume slider and a fucking weather volume slider, because some of that rain is so fucking loud.
Yeah, it is.
It's so
Agreed.
bad.
Yeah.
And then people in VoIP, sometimes they're just so fucking quiet, or sometimes they're just really loud, so you want to turn them down or up or something. That would be nice too.
That's true. Just a bit more customization.
Quality of life.
And maybe
Quality of
make
life.
it so you can change your mic in game, not through your Steam or whatever the fuck too.
Yeah.
People have issue with VoIP because of that.
Oh,
Or
do
don't
you
even
have to
know.
change it? I have it turned off. I didn't realize you could change it in Steam.
Well, it's from whatever your Steam is registering, so
That's interesting.
Where do you change that? I'm just curious.
I have no idea, but that's what people told me. I haven't had to change mine.
So how do you guys feel about the Dex movement speed disparity? Because Dex does half as much as it did in Mortal 1, if not less.
That's dog shit. Change it. Speed should matter more. Like the speed gaps between like 444 movement versus like 420
Needs to
There should
be.
be more visually different. It's like very hard to tell right now.
I don't feel
Isn't there-
fast.
Isn't there like zero difference between 20 decks and 55 decks? Like the slider, you're on the
Yeah, I'm pretty
character
sure.
builder doesn't do anything. So it's just like you could literally just fucking drop that and min-max something else if you're working on a character build that doesn't have decks. Like it's some bullshit. They need
Yeah,
to
I would love if
fine-tune
they
that.
went back to the old way. I logged into Mortal 1 the other day and just running around just felt better.
Really?
Yeah, the
I-
movement in Mortal 1 was so much
I
better.
I thought it
knew.
was dead. Is it still there?
Oh, it's
can log in.
dead. I'm pretty sure I was the only one there.
God, man. Need to get back in there. Some BP.
I just know, like on a 250, 130 Dex back in ML1, I wasn't getting caught, and I didn't think about it. Like it wasn't a question if I'm getting away; it's which way do I go. Now I would pray that they're really slow and that this 5% speed that I get on them is enough. But
I just want it to be different. I want it to be noticeable enough to where they don't need the speed clades. I don't like the Vila, and I'm a Vila
Yeah.
main. I don't like the speed clades. Especially I don't like the Warcry giving speed to other people, but both of the speed clades are just I feel like they're just bad for the game.
Yeah. I'm not
Like,
a big fan of the percent speed increase. I want increase my Dex cap and make Dex do more. I'll put extra points in rather than just get free speed.
I think I was streaming one day and we were talking about like the different clades and stuff and like how velos are pretty much shit because like that speed is like their thing and like they don't really have that because like the gaps don't meet as much and I think Henrik actually said like, well, they are faster if you pop the clades, and it's like, well, that's
All right,
like
once
that's
every
good
10
for
minutes.
like, yeah, that's good every like once every 10 minutes, but like they were much different in MO1. Like the speed doesn't matter in this game at all. Like nobody worries about like your foot speed too much.
Well,
Right, it's not making you
It's-
swing
Yeah.
faster or anything like that.
it's harder
Still,
for melee.
Still, readers are quite strong and good fighting. I mean, we have a few readers who are
Yeah,
going to be striking at the back line, getting at the front line. They can get in between everybody else, which makes them so strong. It's still like a really interesting class.
They're like me and Valine run around in Vilas all day. I'm gonna main a Vila. The speed is noticeable, but it's very hard to use. I'm more worried about the other classes. Speed.
Ogmir.
Yeah, like or the other races, sorry. Their speed is like it's just Vila and everybody else. And Vila is barely noticeable. And yeah, you do have to pop the clades sometimes because the speed is, if somebody gets on top of you, if you don't pop a clade immediately, they're going to get 4 hits off on you and you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to they still get 3 off on you.
Well, are you trying to disengage right in front of their face? Are you disengaging like at a distance?
Well, that you have to disengage at a distance. You
Yeah.
have to run
Or are
early.
they
And
gonna
that's just how you have
the
to play as
shit
a
out
mage.
of you?
What did you say at the end? I missed
Yeah,
it.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, I said, oh, they're gonna stab the shit out of you. You know, you
Yeah.
can't be like, I'm just gonna walk away or run away from you, like from Big Thesa, like 1 foot in front of him. You know.
No, you have to make that decision beforehand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to speed the game up. But to me, the combat just feels worse because everybody's close in speed, which makes it impossible for anyone to disengage from a fight. And you should have the option to disengage from a fight, or at least have like you should be able to. There should, I
Yeah.
mean, being in Mortal
Coming
1,
from
you could get out of a fight and start the kite,
pretty
and
much.
you could
Yeah.
extend the fight for indefinitely as long as you could kite better than them, and that was a skill in and of itself. It's so much harder now. You have to use like obstacle kiting. You have to jump over shit as a Vila. You have to do all this stuff. But in Mortal 1, everybody could. I mean, even if you were a little bit slower, you could kite better. Whether it's running more efficiently between running out of combat and regaining your stamina in combat, it just felt better. The movement in
Pretty
Mortal 1 just
much.
felt
It's
better, and it
pretty
was
much. It's something that I think since you played Darfur, mate, and I played Darfur, I think that's something that comes from strongly. I think it's very heavily inspired by that. Kiting and speeding, that's pretty much what MO1 was also about. But you don't have the skill anymore, as you don't need it for MO2. But that kind of kiting going in and out, there's a lot of things that have disappeared, as far as I'm concerned.
yeah, it just feels bad putting like if I give a when somebody is trying to disengage and they're losing the fight and then I just pop my war cry and somebody on my team just gets a hold of them, it just feels bad. The two things I hate the most right now in the game is seeing people get clated down, speed clated down, and people like getting just chopped down when they're trying to bandage. Like the bandage shit's got to be changed too. I think that's one of the bigger problems. But they're both big problems.
Yeah, being able to cancel a bandage.
Not cancel it. Just you should never be locked out of combat as a warrior. Like you're a warrior.
That's true.
If
Should
you go
be canceling your bandage. That could be something.
if you pull your weapon out and you cancel a bandage, I mean that's better than what they have right now because new players just get slammed. They see that they're low on health and they have to get healed and they're not getting healed. So they pop a bandage and they just get slammed for 7 seconds and then die. It's like it just feels bad every time I see it. And it worked
And
better in
again,
Mortal
it's
1 where you could just pop your bandage and then you could pull your weapon out and at least defend yourself. And I don't
and
care
again,
if they
it's a
take hits
tactic.
and it cancels the bandage or something like that. It would still be better than being locked out of combat. Being locked out of combat's just awful.
I
It
think
feels
the
really bad.
MO1 bandages system did actually add a 1vx factor as well. Because if you were able to peel off from like the 2-3 guys killing you, like solo, you were to pop that bandy and then parry all their hits, so maybe it doesn't cancel your bandage or something other, then it does add a 1vx factor that the
Yeah.
game should have, rather than
Does
the
it-
parry reduction that we currently have.
Has
Yeah.
anyone actually tested the normal bandages, not the minor bandages? They actually heal more, and does it depend on anatomy skill and all the other shit that bandages require?
I haven't seen like a huge difference because I farmed the alchemist bowman a lot. Drops like the normal bandages a lot.
The thing is also with
Doesn't seem-
bandages, mate. It's also a tactical thing. When do you use it? When do you go out? I think it teaches quite more than just that, because it teaches you to have an overview over the whole battlefield. Because if you don't, mate, you just get fucking struck.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest call out in comms when we're doing group fights. As soon as someone bandages, everyone just jumps on them.
Yeah. The guy's
pretty
dead.
much.
And they're also slower. So they just get chopped up. Yeah, it's brutal. That's one thing. I was reading Circo. I mean, I was thinking that for a while, and then Circo made the post about it. I want to say like a week ago now, and
What
I
on
think
sustainability?
yeah, just being able to 1vx, it's not really possible. It's very hard. And I think he's I mean, if I want to talk directly about his post, I think by and large he's right. You should have more. The bandaging should be reverted to what it was in Mortal 1. I totally agree with that, but they should have access to lower end potions more, which they kind of do. I don't know about the Ichor. That Ichor clade is, if you buff it more, it was pretty
Right.
strong.
Yeah. I
I
The
agree.
don't
thing
know
I
about
feel, man, about this game is, I've played this game for 2 years, mate, and I feel the game is really, really slow, right, combat-wise. I think the only way to make it really better, or more interesting, or more exciting is speed. Make a bit more combat speed back. But I don't know if they ever come back to it. Because they
I
changed
I
it, right?
think they can, like, whenever they decide to speed up combat, like, I felt it, like, people aren't gonna say, 1v1s don't matter or whatnot, but, like, it kinda does matter in, like, smaller scale fighting because, some people are literally able to hit through my parries now, and it's like, what the fuck do I do?
Right. Yeah, some of them would do
And if
that,
they speed it up
especially with animation.
and if they speed it up at any further, at that point they might as well just add regional servers because it's just gonna be a very uneven playing field.
I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
that
what
we
I
need
feel we
to.
go back to. Yeah.
I don't want to speed it up. I want to spread it out, slow down some of the people with shit decks. Like back in the day, if you had no decks, you ran 137 and max was 250. So you're damn near half.
So you talking about fat mages or what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah. I mean, we'll just mostly fat mages. Those
Fat
are the people who
mages
go
are
golden or obese.
damn slow now. Like they can't keep up with a foot group at all while traveling.
It used to be way worse. Maybe in the middle we spread it out a little bit, right? But
You're gonna have no trouble catching up at mage.
Yeah.
these foot fighters they feel so fast compared to somebody with 120 deck. Like I give up everything for max decks. I'll be at like 115 health.
Because the endpoints of decks, like as far as move,
Yeah.
problem.
What really ends up happening is the game is looking more at the total stamina than your speed. And also, like, kind of on the same topic, like if you compare like the stam drain compared to MO1, like the stam drain is very more severe. So like a mage running or sprinting is definitely very affected.
Yeah,
It's like
mages.
it's a combination of like things that really hurt like Dex people right now.
Problem with mages too is like the low stam pool that they have access to. Like almost any type of foot fighter, I think, can eventually stam out a mage and catch him and kill him. Like unless you can get to water or something, like probably get outstammed. You might have more movement speed, sure, but like it doesn't. Like the 80 plus more stam that the foot fighter will have over your like 260 stam mage will just end up crushing you in the end.
Yeah, but that's the trade off you do for like I mean, as a Alvarin anyway, you have a
And
pretty big advantage when it comes to, well, really, when it comes to like short range kiting, if you would.
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried
short
about.
bursts.
If somebody wants to target me, can I get away quick? I'll have a team, or there's going to be somebody who can peel for me.
Peels.
Oh no, the kiting and just like trying to get away from the attack has just very much changed. I don't want to say like what MO1 was, simple, but was more kind of simplistic. Like it was more like a straight line. Like if you were faster, you just straight line it away from the guy and stand manage. Now, if you want to get away from a guy, you have to really rely on an object or whatnot. Obstacles.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that aspect, I think it's just a different game compared to that. I don't know. I think they're very much just staying away from that. I think they want more object kiting than what was in MO1.
So, what attributes give you stamina?
It's strength, dex, and con, and I think to per se, I think con and strength give you more than dex. It's strength and dex are on par, and con actually gives you more.
Funny though. I feel like Dex should give you like 2, and the others give you 1 each level. You know what I mean, or whatever it is, a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, it's definitely like in a very unbalanced ratio, and I do feel like if they were to do this, I do feel like Dex should get a little bit more like besides Psych. Right now in MO2, the two attributes that get dick down the hardest is Psych and Dex, like compared to the other 3.
And he doesn't mean in the good way, guys.
No.
Bad way.
And
I agree with Virtuo about daggers. Like daggers should receive faster speed from Dex, because otherwise, what's the fucking point? Like the fact that it swings the same as somebody that's basically swinging a huge old axe. Like I should be able to stab you like 2 or 3 times before you get a single fucking axe hit off.
I don't know.
That's hard to balance though.
Yeah,
then,
daggers
can they
are
just parry everything forever easily.
the worst meta you can have is like a dagger meta where everybody's weak spotting you for 60 and hitting you 3 or 4 times before you can turn your screen to see who's hitting you.
Maybe it was a bit excessive.
Daggers are
I'm
rough.
saying speed should be a little faster on those.
I agree that they should hit lighter, hit a lot less damage, but hit faster. But daggers are, I don't know.
Then
I
again,
am kind of biased because I hate
parry
daggers.
system. With the parry system, you would never get hit ever. Everyone would just run daggers because you can get 2-3 hits off before anyone can even touch you. Like everyone would be running daggers at that point. Because the parry system is tied to how fast you swing your weapon, right? Whether you miss or you hit, it's tied to how fast your weapon is. That's why like bone tissue weapons do well too, because like bone tissue swords, like they're just rapid swings, but then as soon as you try and get off like your one normal damage attack, like they can parry it because their weapons go so fast. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but they would have to like redo the system of like parrying, and then with like parry reduction on top of it, that just piss everybody off.
I feel it. I mean, this is the reason that we're here to discuss these things. And,
Yeah.
You know, because there's no way any single one of us can know everything about the game unless we discuss all these things. Like we're not gonna move forward. Oh, I see you're wearing your Mortal sweatshirt too, dog.
yeah.
That's what's up.
I had to find it. Oh yeah, you weren't here at the beginning. I was talking about it, but I lost this thing for like 2 weeks. I had to like find it in my house. Like I did some. Actually, my girlfriend found it. Yeah, I didn't know where.
Found it, so she stole it and was wearing it the whole time.
What I said. That's what.
I do believe this probably got brought up already on the podcast before, but how do you guys feel about the counter reduction currently in the game?
I mean, unless you have those skills, like it's not that OP. Like you have to have all of those going on at once. Like what I think is the most bullshit is the weapon hits, because I'm fucking 6 feet from this person and somehow I hit their sword. Not really sure what's going on there. That's some bullshit.
First, we
I
need to
feel
look
like,
at
yeah.
like the reason it was implemented. Was it implemented for 1vx? Like, ever confirmed, or why did they add it?
Apparently, it was supposed to be for 1vx, but what I found, and a lot of people around me, we find that doesn't really help 1vx. If anything, it if you get it off, it delays your death by like a second, if even that.
Yeah, it's not really doable. U1 was actually isn't really doable. Surviving maybe, but not winning.
But
unless if you're surviving when they're waiting for help, could be possible.
But where we find that affects mostly is like smaller scale PvP, like groups 3, 5 even, and 1v1s especially. If it was supposed to be implemented from 1vx, it really doesn't play its role. And if Henrik's so stubborn about it being in the game, a mechanic like it being in the game, I would actually like it replaced with stam reduction. I think that would be 100 times better than
That
counter
could be
reduction.
interesting. Yeah, I think the idea behind that wasn't just only 1 versus X. I think the idea was that to reward these people that are skillful enough to parry. I think it was kind of like that. But I think they kind of blew how they wanted to reward that, because it doesn't really reward you much, does it?
No.
Just lasts you longer.
And
Actually a bit stronger, but
What do you mean by stam reduction, though?
So what from what I played, like the biggest counter to like 1vx, fighting 1vx, is the ability to remain on the offense while also being mobile. So if you get a parry off in a 1vx situation and you're able to, you know, and then you go swing, you're eating a bunch of your stamina off while, with very little gain to that.
yeah,
And
you consume less stamina.
yeah,
Parry
and
and you swing.
so yeah, with the stam reduction, you would, be able to remain on the offense.
Right. Now, I would agree that would make it a bit more interesting, a bit more fast-paced in terms of more damage dealing.
Yeah,
Make it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because I see your point where you can remain offensive and mobile, whether to push in deeper into the fight. But like in most like 1v2, 1v3 situations, what you'll end up seeing is like the one person like backing up, taking a defensive posture, and you'll have like 2 people pushing forward, swinging from 2 different directions. So I don't think the stam reduction would be enough to.
That guy backing up. I know a lot of the time when I end up in a situation where I have to end up backing up is because I'm very low on stam, and I've seen it even in other fighters. Like when they hit that stam threshold of like, oh shit, I can't do anything anymore, and people see that, that's when it comes down hard. And like the only way you would even be able to make them back off of you or scared would be able to remain on the offense, but you just don't have that ability because once you go below 60%, you also consume more stam. And let's say even if you're using a sword, you end up, getting a no stamina hit. What I like to call them is when you go swing your weapon and you hit that. I don't know where the magic mark is. Maybe it's 5 or below. But you end up doing no damage if you hit someone.
I forgot. But I'm just thinking like because like I don't know. I think the stam reduction works better for the other team, or like the more number sided team, because if you, because they can also parry your attacks. It's not one sided where you're only parrying their attacks and they're never parrying your attacks. Like typically, yeah, you can parry the one guy, hit the other, but like if they were to then have no cost on their next swing after a parry, like why would they ever have to back off from you? You know what I mean? If like you're somewhere around the same skill level and able to parry just as they are, usually what ends up happening when you're the guy backing up versus 2 people is usually they start to get really low on stam because they get more and more aggressive trying to finish you off, and then they end up burning through a lot of their stamina. Whereas the current parry reduction that we have, like just take flat 50% reduced damage, which keeps you alive long enough for them to stam out. Um, you would either have to have a combination of the both, where you take less health damage, and like you have like no stamina swing, so that you're able to actually stay alive to effectively use the stamina that you're retaining from this buff to it. In my opinion.
So, and I think that's a very much a two-way street, and it would essentially come down like to the player skill in the situation then. Because a lot of people that do fight decide to gang up one person, um they a lot of times they get cocky and think, this guy's not going to do anything to me, and they end up taking a hit. But that's the player skill in the situation.
Yeah. By the way, boys, I gotta head out now. Fortunately, I have some issues to take care of.
Okay.
All
But, I
right.
mean, we're gonna
Right,
end in
man,
7 minutes.
Sorry, I'm
So-
a bit quiet in this podcast, but I much appreciate being invited here by you, Putzin, and everybody else. It was good talk, good discussion. It's good to see you guys actually discussing something meaningful for a game like this.
Aha.
Yeah. Thank you for
Likewise.
coming.
Yeah, so, we'll be around. Well, Vikings always going to be there, PvP, whatever you guys want. Call us mercenaries. Aim to be. We're looking forward to good housing and keeps and whatever will come. So, yeah, thank you very
Sounds
much.
good.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy, Myrmex.
Yeah, bye bye.
Yeah, and we are gonna be in 6 minutes, guys.
All right.
Clock be 3 hour mark. I keep forgetting what I want to say. Does anyone else feel any differently about what he's saying, or
Yeah, I would love to hear opinions about it.
I don't
About
have
what?
opinions on PvP really, unless it's player versus pocket.
Yeah, I'm a mage. I don't know if I'd be able to add. I don't know if I'd be able to give good information on that.
I mean, the only thing is like what kind of like what I was saying though. If you have two people and they're like both like and they're not sharing one brain, they're gonna swing at you from two different directions. So the stam will help you stay offensive, but if you don't have that reduction in health, like that 50% reduction, like one of the hits is gonna hit you, and then you're gonna take full damage after parrying the first guy. And you having that extra stamina is not gonna help you. One, because the speed is really shit in this game, but as soon as you start going more offensive, you're just leaving yourself more and more open to these attacks. I think you have to have some sort of like reduction there in order to be able to take advantage of the free stamina that you're getting back from pairing as well. I don't think you could just fully switch to stam reduction and then think that it's going to go better in a 1vx situation, personally.
I don't know. I think it's definitely something to think about down the line. But I definitely think I dislike the same. It's something to think about. Food for thought for people. Um, I think the stand, like if we're really talking about 1vx, I think the stam reduction would help 1,000 times better. I can't stress that enough because even with the damage reduction, how it currently is, a lot of times it's just going to keep you alive for an extra second. And I at least, and people around me hardly see it come into play in bigger fights.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I don't think these guys have opinions on that.
I just don't want to. I coming from a mage, I don't know what would be better.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
because
that was the first thing I thought of too. Is like, well, I'm a mage. Like the counter parry direction really doesn't affect my life at all. So
yeah, I
would
mean,
pick up-
I'd have to ask like the guys to see what they would prefer. But yeah, to me, like the parry reduction sounds like a good idea. Just a lot of people seem to not like it, so I don't want to put out information that wouldn't help the situation.
I mean, for me personally, like I've been playing the game for months. I've played a lot of different builds, but I straight up dropped melee because one, I am super bad at blocking. I don't know if it's the amount of mouse room I have or my other extracurricular activities that get involved. Um, but I can't fucking block anything. Like in a 1v1 fight, you're gonna get me. 10 out of 10 times, you're gonna get me. No matter what build I am, you're going to get me. I'm gonna fuck up one of those blocks, and then I'm just dead. So I completely gave up on all melee related combat and its mechanics because of that. And that's not a good thing for the game, especially for coming from someone who loves UO, loves the mechanics, like loves everything about this game. I just personally can't fight on the ground on it. And it sucks because there's so much cool stuff to do, but for me to be good and help my guild and succeed, like I can't be a foot fighter. If I was, that's just me throwing materials away every fucking time. And that's not good for the game. You need to do a Sullivan virtue. Okay. Come to beta, bro. You can come beat my ass with my tiny dagger.
Anyone else they want to talk about before we go ahead and shut it down?
I'll throw some more thievery stuff in there real quick. What do you
Hell
think
yeah.
about stealing from pet bags?
100%. 100%. Steal
I
from
never understood.
fucking
It's easier
everything.
than a person.
Yep. I mean, you
Okay.
should still go gray over it. You should
Yeah,
still go
give me a
gray.
hidden criminal and all that. I'm doing a misdeed, but I should definitely be able to take shit out of their bags.
Okay, I have one to top you on that.
Let's go.
LaShaniqua. If you kill a mounted guy, you see a guy off his horse in the wilderness, I think you should be able to steal his horse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If he dies and if he's not within a certain range, it's retameable by somebody.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would like.
I don't know how they would make that work though. Like
That would
have
be
to be
so
like
troll, but it would be like everybody complains about running up on a horse that is
It's just
blue, but
there.
they want to take it. Yeah.
Yeah, like a fucking blue desi sitting in the middle of cave camp. You're like, that seems pretty good to me. Like, why can't I take this thing? And
Yeah.
you can't even like make it drop loyalty enough to.
Maybe
be able
that's
to drop it
the beauty of domination too. You wouldn't be able to do it to dominated pets, but if you tamed it, I'll tame it too. But you're not around. Dog needs a new owner.
I mean, maybe it takes like a lot longer or something because
Oh, yeah.
one, the horse isn't gonna. I don't know, but it should be retameable. Like there should be a process for it.
Yeah, I really like that. That's a hot idea.
I thought you would like that one.
All right, people keep talking about wall climbing for like as a skill for thieves. I think that's trash. Like, you know, Legend of Zelda climbing up shit with your stamina.
Spider-Man the fuck out.
That's horrible.
I mean, grappling hooks type things.
That
like,
I would be okay with. Give me an
Right.
100 points I can put into infiltration, and then I can use, you know, something to break open regular chests, maybe.
Right. Well, at least like that and unlocking
Grappling
the keep
hook.
door or something so you can get your guys in and at night, fucking whatever. Like some sort of mechanic that isn't just like, oh, I can just climb this thing. Like this isn't fucking Assassin's Creed, bro.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in maybe some tools I could use, and I'd dump 100 points to know how to use them. But I don't think wall climbing is viable at all. That would just get abused real quick.
Oh,
I would be getting into places they did not want me.
I would. Henrik got asked that question one time, and he was talking about like there would be climbing in the game sometime in the future, but it would only be certain objects.
Okay, as long as it's not everything. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
seem
want to
really
wall climb up the mountain.
You seem really big into like theater. Like, have you ever tried like just doing a charity, giving back?
Yeah, on MO1, I have the best armor crafter around because there's no one else. I give away free armor. That's how I make up for my misdeeds.
How you sleep at night?
Yep.
Give them armor and then steal their weapon. Is that how that works?
The armor crafter is a thief though. 130 decks, so I could if I wanted to.
I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but I've been talking to Aku lately, and I don't even know if it's public knowledge or anything. But he said he used to hire you to like grief people's like palisades or.
I think he was commissioning Gray Fox, and I would help. I can't remember if I did one specifically without backup, but he was definitely somewhat encouraging. So RPK blew up my Salvia Palisade, right? They did it under the lie that I trade ganked one of their members. One of them had lied about it, and so they just blew up my Palisade as RPK does. And when I tried to get vengeance, air quotes, because I did a lot, but not a lot. He was actually supportive of me breaking into their keep and like camping his players. He said these people are too soft.
Oh, that's what he said. Yeah, he said, "What did you do to Orn? Can you tell the story?"
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's what he
done
said.
to Orn. But I think the most important part is he was AFK mount training. He was just running in circles, and so I beat him down. And normally that would be enough, you just take his gear and kill his horse. But I had a buddy with me, and so I banished him. When you banish somebody that's red, he was a red player, they get stat loss, and so each of your stats goes down by like 5 or 10 or whatever, and then you have to regain those stats like you would if you were a fresh spawn. And I think 15 times total, we killed him and rebanished him, so he was back to base 10 stats. He was he was a newborn baby. He couldn't hurt a fly.
Yeah,
and so,
this all happened inside their own keep, by the way.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. That is the type of shit I love to hear. Please never do that to me.
I mean, don't burn down my palisade with a lie. All right, and I won't have to. Very few people get that kind of specific attention.
Fair.
I hope they bring back stat loss. I'll just throw that out since we talked
I like
about
it. I
agree.
it.
I agree.
Give some more detriment to these Reds because now they can come in town if they've got rep.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay.
Apparently, Henrik said there will be big consequences in the future to being red.
Henrik says a lot of things, dude.
He does say a lot of things, doesn't he?
He's got big dreams for the game.
He does. You know?
Can't fault him for that, but not a lot of them come true.
This makes me think of that Buzz Lightyear meme where he's just like, in the future.
Bro,
this feature.
We created so many fucking emojis in our Discord that are all fucking the Hendrik faces from when he was tripping out on the voice recognition thing. So it's just like now we just react to each other with all those emojis. It's so fucking funny. I don't think he would be amused at all.
I think that's why he was doing. I think he likes the emoji stuff, like the stickers that people have been posting. I think he likes it. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here because I'm hungry. I need to go eat too. But I appreciate all you guys coming. Sullivan, Anthius, Bit Booty, Turik. Thank you guys. This was very interesting. We haven't actually had a podcast where we talked about thieving too much, so it was nice to have Big Booty specifically, so he could tell us more about thieving and what he wants from it.
I didn't have a lot to say about all your very specific combat questions, but I know about that.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us. I super appreciate it too. Anyone that's interested in the Integrity store, how it works, how our ticket system works, feel free to PM me. Dunsky's been a little busy with school, but anyone that's listed in the High Council can be PM'd and you can ask questions, whatever you guys want. You know, like we're looking for fights. If you want to do big PvP, even if it's a friendly thing, like, or if you want to do full loot, that's okay too. Like, we really want to get this content out there. We want to push this game and have it succeed. So, and no, we're gonna keep doing camping on taming orders, Sir Virtuous. We're gonna do it.
Hey, and don't forget, go watch my shitty YouTube videos. That Orn thing, all on YouTube. You can watch it.
Post one in the chat real quick before we shut it down.
Sure, I'll probably do the one where I got Orn. That's the one.
Okay. All right, but yeah, you guys are free to head out. Thank you guys again, and you guys around. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Take it easy, man.
Yeah, later, guys.
Later.
See ya.
Take care.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the keep an eye on chat, and LaShaniqua's probably gonna post this video. If you guys want to go watch a thievery video? I'm gonna go ahead and I can't raid found ups. I don't know what the hell is up with this streamer. I don't know if it's because he's not partnered or affiliated or something, but Ice Prime I guess just went live, so we'll go ahead and raid Ice Prime. So you guys can go ahead and show him some love and stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone watching again. We're gonna have the next podcast is going to be on Sunday next weekend. So usually it's on Saturdays like today, but it's actually gonna be on Sunday. On Saturday, I'm doing the RPK Guild interview with Aku and Kulshan. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Coulshan. Apparently he was like one of the founding members and he's been an officer in there forever. Yeah. So we're gonna do the RPK Guild interview on Saturday, and then we're doing the podcast on Sunday. So if you guys would like to see those, it's gonna be on this channel, same time, 12 p.m. Eastern for both. So Saturday, Sunday. Okay, he posted the YouTube video, guys. So check that out. There's the Integrity Discord if you guys want to do any trading in Integrity. Just go to that Discord. Yeah, boys. we're gonna go ahead and raid Ice Prime real quick, and that's it. Hope you guys all have a good day. Okay. Good one. Bye, guys.
We can't make you leave your acne alone, but we can help get rid of the spots that your acne left behind. Different Dark Spot Correcting Serum has the maximum strength dark spot fading power you can get without a prescription. Do things different.